Yes, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, warm greetings from the TNN, Then and Now TV Media Empire. Today, na the 5th of February 2022. I repeat, the 5th of February 2022, and we are live. And this na a major broadcast based on the development of political things that are happening back na the country. When I go don't see the flyer by now, but again, me when they present this program today, the 5th of February 2023, rather. My name is Prince Emil Kroma, and we ask una not for touch that dial, and at the same time we ask una for help for share the program so other people can hear waiting we they talk. So please don't touch that dial. We're coming right back. Right, Fambulem, welcome to another edition of the Then and Now TNN TV Media Empire program. Today, now the 5th of February 2023. And very important program. And we're going to do this presentation today, or the host the platform. I'm named Prince Emil Kroma. It's a very important program. Of course, every program that we hold is important in terms of the order. But in this particular case, now the political landscape, how it look, how it change, waiting the change, and why. This is what we want for look into today. And with me now, this particular program, we get two of the best minds in terms of critical analysis pan the business. And when I say pan the business, I mean pan analytical business, how for analyze program them. And I mean this from the very depth of my own, mindset. that the two people that we get now, people that we understand the political landscape in the country and then know how to analyze. If not speculate, then they speculate. Then also they show evidence, tangible evidence as to why then they speculate and whether for go along with the speculation and how. These two people then we get the program today are very, very special. We will only introduce them because, of course, the ethics call for introduction, the protocol call for introduction, or they are people that are well known within the annals of social media. And then two people they are, Fambulem, they are none other but the legend, Padenta Thomas. I can always find difficulty pronouncing the brother in middle name. Of course, I get for the look at the spelling it pronounce. So yeah, if I miss that, apologies. Another man where we get also when they partake in the program today for help we for understand exactly the subject matter. Now the brother Haji Mohammed Warisi, also a very well-known figure within the annals of social media. And we don't bring them today, so then we can help Fambulem, Salon Fambulem, the wider community for understand where we are and how we arrive where we are. And not only that, but how we go forward from where we are. So, gentlemen, I want to welcome Una heartily to the Den and Our program. Of course, you two are no strangers. And yeah, welcome. Mr. Warise, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Like we say, we are on the program live and we just ask Fambulem, yeah, for shape the program. We know say the number don't begin develop, but we hope say it will multiply in 10 folds. I think we get about 30 people right now where they watch and with the live stream through 3 different annals. So una help we for sharing because it's very, very important. Yeah, this goes to you. And we talk about none other but Dr. Kandeh Yumkella. There are speculations, you know, as whether the doctor, this great doctor, they don't transition from Usa Ibn Komo. Hence, we title the program The Prodigal Son, as soon as been seen at the flyer. Of course, we know the biblical translation of the prodigal son. They take all his own share of the family money. They decide for go. When he go see how the world really look. They not be able for cope, and they turn around and come back. If this is true here, because again, like I say, speculation, because the doctor, they say, it not return yet, or not so we they assume. But you know, man, we're able to analyze anything there. The doctor, it don't return, and if it don't return, what in this mean in terms of the political landscape?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kroma, for having me on the program, and Fambulem, and I thank you all that joined me, then and now media, pro TV. It's great to be back here at home. I call it home because
thank you very much.
This media now we all get time. Yes, absolutely. It's always great to be here. The reception is warm, and you know, we have the opportunity for share so much with viewers and listeners out there. In terms of Dr. Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella, in a question where you asked, but I feel say Dr. Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella, the first thing we need for do now for listen carefully to what he said in those audios. I feel say a lot of people react based on hearsay, even when the audio is available. The reason I say this is not being condescending. It's the fact that a lot of people then comments them indicate say the man don't already made the transition to the ruling SLPP party, which is not the case. So I wonder we carefully listen to and let we carefully analyze Putin actually say. What did he say? Dr. Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella say he is in talk with the president. If you can remember, when his wife passed away, the president visited. And a president actually used that opportunity for invite KKY back to in home party when I SLPP. And Kandeh Kolleh, the KKY say it don't hold word. That's what he said at the time. A lot of us came out and criticized him for saying that he don't hold word. Because if you are a leader of a renowned political party, the third first in the country, then a ruling party can openly, publicly invite you. You have to openly, publicly make clarification, make known to the ruling party president that no, this is your party, that's where you're staying. But he said at the time, say, don't hold word. So a lot of people criticize us for criticizing him for saying that he's holding word. And now we don't see Usada don't bring we can. When you listen to his audio, what he's saying that he's still in talks with the ruling, with the president. He's in talks with the ruling, with the president. And the basis of a discussion was the fact that out of 17 political parties will participate in the 2018 election, 14 of those have been crushed by the ruling party. So he's afraid. That's what I heard from what he said. He's afraid. So he's in talks with them to and on the basis of forming an alliance with the ruling party. You understand? So I believe, the answer to your question is that Dr. KKY is in transition. He hasn't left C4C, NGC. He hasn't gone to SLPP, but he's in transition at the moment because he's in serious conversation and he's committed to those conversations on the basis that to form an alliance with the ruling government.
Right. Fair enough. Yeah, if you can put you gadget where you use in a landscape position so that we will get a professional kind of view, that would be appreciated. Many thanks for that. Mr. Warise, he has said a lot there in an opening statement. Obviously, he did weigh into the statement with Dr. Kandeh, make, but also he talk about Dr. Kandeh. They say he want for form potentially an alliance with the ruling party, but for form an alliance means you already depend something, and then you take that something there for can't join other people for let una form an alliance. But already here say, and back again to the question, you probably have a different take. You have a different look. Analysts that can come up from different perspective. They look at the same thing, but one man they look at from the yard, the other man they look at from the front yard. So therefore, there's a different view, a different perspective. Your thoughts, please, on Dr. Kandeh. You mute, Mr. Warise.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Prince, and like I say, thank you to I'm strong analyst. I don't listen and plenty forum them. I don't listen to your personal one the way they put out. I think for me, now that kind environment and they want for there something happen, all man come and be, especially people that don't understand politics. Prince. It's good for that we all they give you on analysis, all they give you on talk. That is what freedom is about. So I always welcome that this platform at the praise una because una don't create that alternative to waiting entail na Sierra Leone, to waiting to happen na Sierra Leone. Me, I'm not gonna go na Sierra Leone and criticize Marabio. The next minute, then they come and by me. So
I love that terminology.
Oh, yes.
Your broadcast we go get for use them, then go come and by me. The lexicon, the English lexicon.
Yes, because the fact now that waiting to happen at Sierra Leone will not be known this year especially after the one party system, which people are not for oppose, not for criticize. But we can talk about Mr. KKY. If anybody surprised with his statement, if anybody surprised, it means the person not being able to follow politics in Sierra Leone. If anybody shocked about what he say, it means you not been on the follow politics in Sierra Leone. If it happen the other way, now even for the surprise, let's say I come and say, at the contest the election, at the stand for Sierra Leoneans, at this trying moment, at the make sure we talk about inflation, we talk about the corruption. If it happen that way, me for be surprised because we know, including the Africanist press, say the main opposition and this NGC, they don't form an alliance against the people of Sierra Leone for support Madabio in agenda. In fact, for make sure say Madabio get a second term. You know, I said to people, Sierra Leoneans, we don't hear KKY in. He left the other main opposition at parliament for them to come and tell me, say, openly, I mean, apart from what we know, we private taught them, or personal taught them, he left them for like come and say, well, myself, I don't join, or I want to join because it is clear. It is clear. This, even the beginning, we don't study politics. When you follow the opposition at parliament in the last 4-5 years, you notice or you see, say, they are in bed. Forget about, I understand, when they travel, make them fine, make them diplomatic. But left that one, they come to the reality. Yeah, don't follow what happened at parliament in the last 4-5 years. How many laws were critical to Sierra Leoneans where these opposition figures don't challenge at parliament and come to people and say, no, this law will not want that. How many? You count them. You count them because it's not plenty. We then as now we follow politics, we see them go massacre people in Pademba Road. KKY don't say nothing. They don't come out and make no statement. We don't see the laws that only they pass in parliament for help Madabio in cause for an election. The Public Elections Act, how they amend them, how they empower people them way they go conduct that voter registration day. KKY, now opposition, these guys are not saying nothing. The bank governor and give him a free hand for them to go and do what he don't do currently to the economy. Currently, we get 2 currencies. In fact, the new deals where they put out are not recognized internationally. KKY, they know this. They don't say nothing. So we conclusion that KKY and the other main opposition na parliament, they may not join Madabio. They may not join a long time and in bed with her. KKY ain't bold enough to come out and say, hey, I'm in talks now, because what's in make KKY will do that this time? Now because you don't see when they go na court, the court don't go give verdict say the proportional representation system where the government is trying to push is correct. So for them, KKY believes this is the best thing for them to come out. He said this government get more chance now for win election than any other time. So it just come and confirm to we. Say what we don't say all this while about not true. What surprised me, if I can go for that, Prince, what surprised me, what will surprise plenty of people then. Now when somebody don't sleep for you all night, don't wake for you, don't be up all night, don't succor for you. Then I monitor you ask yourself, what make you hear it? Now that's KKY do in support us. Now that make when me and you talk in a private conversation, Prince, I tell you say he is not a leader. Because a leader, now you last the jump from the ship. Now you last the command inside the ship, where the ship is sink. But this man not behave like a leader. And not just say now he first jump command at the ship. He come back, he talk word against people then we don't know the supporter, we don't know the put. I know Sierra Leoneans are women in America, Britain, and outside, and we support KKY. When we starve them families back home, say if we don't go vote for KKY, we need to send remittance to them. If we don't go vote for KKY, now then people and the KKY turn against you overnight just because of your personal aggrandizement. So for me, that didn't surprise me. Not so you go on or not go on and SLP surprise me. For me, he's always SLP. And for me, if you allow me to go for that, again, I will tell you the Prince, I'm glad where KKY is showing an example. Say young, na young, not left young, like it rotting, not left out. This could go to the people the way, especially the APC, where you get your party, good or bad, stay with your party. KKY will just form an alliance for sure Madabio say instead get trend, it can a parliament. Or for sure SLP say, but the man SLP through and through. We don't know that country, we don't see August 10, how they slaughter Sierra Leoneans. What's in the statement to KKY make? They say the people in our rudeness, them in Nepal. The people in our rebels. KKY is statement. It condemned demonstrators in a democracy. Raise a single word for condemned government. So all put together, KKY behavior for me, not surprising. Not surprising praise.
Yeah, that's a lot said there. Yeah, I wonder whether you take a different view, or at least to some of what we brother say. So
Yeah,
obviously,
partly,
Dr. KKY. Sorry, say that again, please.
Partly. Whether I go or not go, for me, it's not a question. You don't need
Yeah.
an volunteer. Whether I say I'm
Yeah.
openly or not. And I give this. One of the friends called me then. He's a lawyer. He said, what he said, I don't believe, say, KKY, they would declare openly for SLP. He said, for several reasons. I don't want to say that one again. But he confided in me and said, I don't believe, say, openly, KKY go on for declare for the SLP. He said, owing to waiting in no say, don't happen in the last 4 or 5 years. But the reason that we give me, I know this is a public. Don't watch, don't see how they go.
Okay. Yeah, again, much said there. Of course, boku controversies, boku hypotheticals, and we all kind of they speculate. But you get people that we actually know the storyline. Again, yeah, I bring this to you because we look at the general political landscape owing to what the great doctor, don't do, whether it transition or not. But the idea is, if we read deep into the speech or the statement where he released, like how we say, some of it was quite condescending to people way pay their money, but then the business day at NGC. But quite a number of people and take umbrage to that because they come publicly and they were upset. And I think, say, 1 or 2 key members then within the NGC, they did come out, and put position statements out. They said that was totally uncalled for. But we did try for look at Dr. Kandeh and the action way he don't take and whose kind of burden way he get on the country. So I put this again to you. Dr. Kandeh, if he go, he get all right for go. I mean, yes, he can offend or upset, some people that will belong to a party. But this is political. Now, make we say, how you call them, political reality. If you want to go, he can go. What's this hold up? What all this boku talk? What exactly is going on here? What you yes, not God.
Firstly, I want to agree with Mr. Warren say in points the way you make, they are well in place. The reason why I want to agree with them is because everything down the limelight. Nothing has been hidden from the onset. My initial comment were based, I wanted to highlight what he said as opposed to my analysis in the first place. So now I'm going into analyzing what KKY has actually done and said. Now, KKY from the onset, I wonder we go back from 2016, 2017, we come to the political limelight in Sierra Leone. From the onset, we had issues wherein it was not true with Sierra Leoneans. It was not true with Sierra Leoneans with SLPPs in terms of in membership with SLPP. If you can remember, my brother, that there were lots of controversies surrounding his membership. We all say he was not a member. At the end of all of it, it was proven that he was not a member of the Sierra Leone People's Party until late towards mid 2017 is when he finally became a member of the Sierra Leone People's Party. So that became a huge controversy, completely unnecessary fracas that started. And my analysis then of his character and his integrity was that he was somebody that is highly educated, but somebody that cannot be trusted because of his action then, because he put the party into so much disrepute. Now, to the facts about KKY, the fact remains that he is free to go, like you mentioned, my brother. He's free to go, but he appears to be using all sort of excuses for justify in exit from the party.
Exactly. We're not necessary at all.
Yes, it's completely unnecessary. You can leave whenever you want to leave. Sam Sumana left C4C He said to the party, thank you for, giving me the opportunity to serve as your flag bearer for the 2018 election. But after consultation and further consideration, I've decided to go back to my home party of APC.
That's it.
I think that is a dignified way to exit. If KKY wanted to exit, he could have done the same thing. Imagine somebody like Dr. Dennis Bright resigning. He's not resigning because of anything. He's resigning because he disagrees with the approach that KKY is using. If KKY if we don't sit down with all them guidance, they say, look, guys, I am going back to SLPP. They will have said, thank you very much for your service, all the best. But because he's using so many excuses and he's trying to mortgage NGC, he's literally mortgaging NGC for his political interest. That is why key people are disassociating themselves with NGC because they don't want to support him in that cause. You understand? And it's very unreasonable. But this brings a very salient question, my brother, Mr. Kurma. The question is, why should NGC fall simply because KKY wants to go back to his home political party? Why? The reason why we should really ask this question is because, number one, Sierra Leoneans, we should learn to build institutions. We should learn to support institutions, not individuals. You understand what I mean? Because if your support base is only around an individual, if that individual lets you down, you have nothing to fall back on. That is why you have prominent people within NGC today. They don't know what to do. They feel like they're shattered. They have nowhere to go because all their hopes and dreams was vested into one person. It was vested into KKY instead of NGC. You understand? If you vest your hope into the party, then you know that the party serves as a vehicle, with or without the driver. Any driver can sit in that vehicle and steer it on. Let me give you an example. This is a chronic issue for Sierra Leone. Let me give you several examples wherein people, citizens, have served individuals and leaders instead of the institutions that they've all built together. An example is MKM. MKM come from ADP. A lot of people served MKM instead of serving ADP. That is why when MKM was unfairly incarcerated, ADP
unfairly
doesn't appear to exist.
Yeah, carry on,
Yes.
brother. I just want to
ADP doesn't appear to exist anymore. Yes. The other example, you look at APC right now. APC is in chaos because most of APCs, they associate their contribution, their membership, their allegiance with Anes Baikoroma. So Anes Baikoroma has left as leader. He was been there for over 20 years. He has left as leader. The party is in chaos. You understand? He has to come back from retirement to rescue the party from itself because the people, their allegiance.
Okay. I think we are having a problem there with brother na Australia. For understand, say we brother in the talk from now other parts of the world altogether.
It's the exact same thing.
Okay, he's back. Yeah, carry on. Yeah, carry on.
He died.
Okay, we don't lost him again. So obviously there's internet problems right there. But Fambule, just a quick reminder, we did talk about Dr. Kandeh Yumkella of the NGC. Okay, yeah, still a try for talk. Yeah, obviously you get internet problems, so we go take you off for now, and I want just twist this thing quickly to
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you're back now. Yeah.
All right. My apologies.
That's all right.
May I continue, please?
Yes, please do.
All right. So my other point is that PMDC and Charles Magai, PMDC practically doesn't exist anymore. Imagine PMDC was the second largest political party in Sierra Leone in 2007. Without PMDC, Ernest Bai Koroma would have never been president of Sierra Leone. Imagine how powerful that is. They had 14 seats in parliament. It's because of the alliance with APC that brought Ernest Bai Koroma to power. But PMDC appears to not exist anymore. Think about Sobe. Sobe is non-existent today because Ernest Bai Koroma left it. You know, when he came to APC, he brought in Sobe. Sobe died a natural death. Mohamed Bangura was also a leader. So Madame Femi, when she's where she is today, the day she leaves, that party died. So we as Sierra Leoneans must learn from this. We should put our effort, time and effort for build institutions as opposed to putting our time and effort for build individuals. Because the moment those individuals vacate, we have nothing to talk about. Now, let me go back to KKY in deception. KKY don't start for deceive Sierra Leoneans before the elections, after his victory, and throughout his tenure as the parliamentary leader of NGC. There is no point in time Usai KKY stand boldly without being politically correct for boldly criticize this government. There is no point in time. Every time we do it, they sugarcoat and make it look as if he's the only how they call it bureaucrat in the country. No, he never ever stood firmly like somebody like Tawa. Honorable Tawa will stand there and say, no, this is wrong. This is unacceptable. He takes the speaker, the clerk of parliament, and so on and so forth to anti-corruption. Imagine, he is in the ruling government, representing the ruling government in parliament. He's done a lot more oppositional job than KKY, in my view. Yeah. KKY is responsible for the state of emergency during the COVID-19. A lot of people forget this. I have archives of things that are happening. Yeah. KKY went on AYV and said that the president should invoke a state of national emergency to deal with coronavirus at the time that we did not even have a single case in Sierra Leone, Liberia, or Guinea. You understand? A lot of people suffered. I was in Sierra Leone. My brother and I loaded up so much food in vehicles, driving around to feed the homeless and destitute on the street. You understand? A lot of people suffered because of that state of emergency. I tell you, KKY is the guy who proposed the MP salary increment, the salary increment of MPs in dollars, and the wardrobe allowance, the vehicle allowance, fuel allowance, you understand, medical allowance, accommodation allowance. He increased them by over 500, 600%. You understand? This is the same guy, when he throws his bombs, he leaves the country. The day the stuff happens, he leaves the country. If you look at KKY's track record, every time there is commotion in parliament about controversial issues, he's gone.
Yes.
Because he initiates them.
Yes.
I tell you, the PR system, who brought country first? KKY's motto is country first. The PR system, if you listen to the president, he says to bring about national cohesion and unity. Is KKY, from my sources, is KKY that made this proposition for PR system to come to being. That is why KKY can never openly criticize, has never openly criticized PR system. He roams around it. He roams around it. He says he doesn't like the manner in which she's been introduced. He doesn't like appreciate the fact that they haven't followed the due processes, but he's never openly criticized the PR system. So all these things indicate that KKY has never been NGC in the first place. He has always been a wolf in a sheep clothing. He has always been SLPP. KKY is one of the few members of parliament when 10 APC members of parliament were illegally kicked out of parliament on the first day of the sitting, before the imposition of the Speaker of Parliament. KKY, as a leader of NGC, asked and commanded all his members of parliament to sit in there, not to demonstrate by leaving the parliament. Imagine, this is a guy that is so educated. He's worked with international organizations such as the United Nations. You understand? He did not leave the parliament. Instead, he sat there. A lot of people left. C4Cians, a lot of them few of them left. APCNs all left in protest, but KKY sat there with all 3 members of NGC parliamentarians. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? These same KKY, they were disenfranchised by this government in several by-elections. Those MPs that were removed, they were removed on the basis that the second runner-up, the runner-up to that MP that's been removed, which is the APC MP removed, the runner-up will automatically take up that position. So all those constituencies where APC MPs were removed, that SLPP MP was a runner-up, SLPP candidate was a runner-up, automatically SLPP candidates assume those seats.
Yeah.
In other seats wherein NGC was candidates were runner-up, they rerun the elections. They did not allow NGC to automatically assume that seat. What did KKY do? Did you hear any protest from him? Did he go to court? You understand? Has he done anything about it? Let me tell you, listeners, viewers, there's never been a point, never since KKY denied and created so much controversy surrounding his membership in 2017. There's never been a point wherein I look at KKY as the future of Sierra Leone. That is the truth, and that is the honest truth.
Thank you so much, Eya. Yeah, I'm Fambule with the listen. Of course, we ask Una again for continue for share. Very important program, 2 very, very important and critical guests where they analyze the situation. So such is, I'm waiting here, just say just now, and we get more for Yeri, because also on the platform, we get Alaji Warisi. I mean, if people think, say, politicians, because they think themselves as being very smart, they don't know, say, we self, they observe them, and things like that. Imagine.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the analysis just produced just now. This is classic. So going back 2017, 2018, all your actions in the parliament are well documented. And this is what is being unraveled here today. But let me hear you from Alaji Warise. Very much said there by ear, and it get a finger on the button, because I could see you nodding your head, and at some point they say yes, yes, yes. And even the moderator could not, able for resist, because what's in the brother they say, and this is about the communication. When you agree with somebody based on facts, not on sentiment, definitely you can't hold back. And then Mr. Warise, since you tend to take us back to history and the now, I want to touch on history a little bit with Dr. Kandeh Yumkella from your own perspective. Yeah. Obviously, he burst into the scene. This was like supposed to be some magical moment, some Alice in Wonderland, kind of a moment. And many people then gravitate towards them. But if we can take what he say, he was always a sheep in wolf's clothing. Okay, because even when he go to parliament, all he did was support the president, and the agenda. Going back again to the NGC, how grand was this coalition, Mr. Warise?
I tell you, I will not be heard where he have been talk, because are they in agreement with almost everything where they say to where they put out there? Because for me, he have mentioned something in lengthy statement. He mentioned something very, very critical. I don't care if you're not a politician. I don't care if you're not a student. I don't care if you're not an activist. I don't care if you're not just a journalist. Integrity matters a lot. To so many people, where they know they follow KKY. A lot of people, I must tell you, they may not give up on them based on the behavior of parliament. But the fact that when you say somebody get integrity, it means it will follow in words. We all agree now. Nothing wrong for the KKY. Say, I don't left NGC, or are they in alliance with the SLPP? Because now in democratic right. In a democracy, people get right for associate with whosoever they want to associate with, especially when it comes to how they organize election, because it's a thing of ideology. If that's your ideology, that's what you follow it. But the integrity part of her, where you don't make statement about Al-Hussein and Al-Hassan, this big statement. And then finally you can turn them basic. You understand? They go a long way for hamper integrity. And a lot of people that they watch just me, KKY or me, what they say. No, for me, it's about me lineage, me root, me picking them, we for come after me. Waiting and go take for tell them, waiting and go take for talk to them, where if they come and say they want politics tomorrow, they want go for certain position as they do tomorrow. Waiting and go for use against them. KKY don't just put that imprint into a family. Seeing that the way you don't talk, statement the way you don't make, where they go for use against in picking them, we go for come tomorrow. Say even in grand picking them, because somebody don't go forget. Nobody don't go forget that thing. Even in grand picking them, say boy, papa, now say even talk, so tell. And he come back and talk the other way. You know, so for me, I think say integrity a matter. I don't care what you be or what you want for be. Look back, are giving a loaded picture of what you non past. But look back at the Africanist press. We don't they write report. We don't investigate corruption. Now, from the APC days. Look at the way KKY used those reports during the APC. KKY Tima boldly talk about the Ebola funds will be missing and rope the APC into them full time with all the reports where the Africanist press don't produce about this government. And KKY, interestingly, during the APC, he was not in opposition. He was not in parliament. He was not there elected to serve
quite a contrast, yeah.
Yes. So, but this time, fortunately, he will give excuse as to why he not talk against corruption, and any corruption for that matter, where don't happen under the SLPP. The only one thing when you go deduce from that one and I say KKY, they in alliance with Madabio always. Now the public, let me just the fool. Go back, I take you back, Prince, I take you back to the Lara Taylor Pierce case. Who say an auditor, an independent auditor general was sacked. Yeah, they call him suspend. I call him sack because as far as I know, the president sack him. I be don't challenge people. I say as long as Madam a president, Lara will never come to the office because Madam you know the level of corruption. KKY know the level of corruption will don't happen in that country. And outside all the corruption emanate from, and outside all the corruption built, like I hear be the deal. Now from parliament, from these two gentlemen we call themselves opposition of parliament. Now then help Madabio government put in place all of them in there, then sack the auditor general. We're not independent auditor general. We don't leave the test of time. We don't show say independent over the years. Not a single word from this man we can change Al-Hussein and Al-Hassan. For me, those actions were enough for tell me say this man they in alliance. What you do? That tell me about KKY a little bit. KKY in background ever since from his papa Kandong na SLPP. KKY did not believe in nothing except the SLPP. There were rumors before the 2018 elections. Say an Eskroma call, I don't know how true this be. Say an Eskroma call KKY for they can join the APC so that it will be the leader and eventually run for flag bearer for the APC. KKY turn down. From what you hear, they say turn them down because I believe day, maybe unless we look for somebody where he feels incredible, they look at the same person here, so until you can make changes. But I think say all of them people them waiting get hope by KKY, it just don't disappoint them overnight. So for me, integrity in politics, it don't go. In standing internationally, that integrity we get when the whole world when they look at them, you say, oh, this is not the person, this is not the man. I think say it don't go. But in singular behavior, we put up, not just in behavior, a statement we go ahead for make against people them with us, the old net, they not sleep for them, they not support them, they don't believe in cause, for they can just give them back foot, the way give them back foot. So for me, they go a lot to talk about integrity. Don't forget, the Africanist press go to the extent for produce waiting the bank governor plan where he been the try for put forward the two currency policy or the new currency policy. The Africanists go beyond for ensure say them put that one there out at the table, tell members of parliament, them tell the opposition and say this is what is the plan. Today, where are we? $100 now $2 million after this economic policy where KKY support na parliament for let the bank governor go. So much of matter be no get the blame of the problem we see in the face right now. The opposition na parliament squarely then share that blame of waiting how the country run in the last 4 years. I agree with AI again. Now hide even just a hide. But if you get so much power for influence things in parliament, because the SNP will look at them, they will look forward to them, for see how they behave, what you will do, because now we get international stature, or we get international stature, so we in a parliament, they will worry. But following in behavior, the SNP relax. And I said this one time, any side where you see government or ruling party become this bold for do thing them, where them matter be they do, it tells you the opposition don't sell out. So for me, KKY in behavior, I come back for say, it not surprise me. I come back for say, people that know they don't talk about them, people that know they don't sense them, people that know they don't see them say, it don't sell out, not just empathy, it don't sell out to the Tyranninians. Especially the one that we believe in them, we vote for them. That's stop so far. I think say we have plenty to talk.
Yeah. Again, well said there. Yeah, just for go straight to the point. Of course, you don't let the case waste already before the audience. Brilliant. And Salon Fambulem, I've been telling you, the two people that we get on the program, goodness me, these are two of the most critical minds that we can get on social media about our country. And of course, they are demonstrating that every second of the way. Yeah, Dr. Kandeh obviously has been a disappointment. But owing to the fact that the disappointment begins from the moment when they back him off from the SLPP, where you talk about, where it been tell we say, he that be registered member and he turn out not for be a registered member. Because when he indeed registered, whether it was politically motivated, they make him public with the now Speaker of the House, Dr. Bundu. They say that now this man don't register and is a full-fledged member of the SLPP. But then, for salvage something out of the, I think that mean again noise in my background. Family on a beer with me. Get so many applications open. No, I think saying I one of una.
Not to me, definitely not to me.
Noise on a background. Yeah.
Not to me, definitely.
Yeah. What you say?
No, not
to you. Okay, Family on a beer with me, please. Probably me. I've been to watch football before I come on live. Yeah, that was me. So I apologize. I apologize to my guests and the viewers. Them. Sorry about this.
It's okay.
So yeah, like I've been to say, Dr. Kandeh go to parliament and he skillfully try for play in way out to a point where he supported them, being they say, they represent, the bigger party when the All People's Congress na parliament, which of course wasn't true. He was just championing or appeared to be championing the government in cause, which again, they take the cue from you because you rightfully put up. Where we reflect now, we know saying that this na in mean they happen. But fast forward here, it's like time they catch up with the doctor. I wonder whether he go agree with that because now we now understand the same way we did it. Now intel the people they say, now intel the president say, well, you can invoke a state of emergency, even though Ebola, how you call them, and COVID not been on Canada the country yet. And some other Boku law them is don't they make them for let it happen. And then suddenly after 4 years, with the this language about the doctor, say, well, the president called him so they can't support in country. But the president get only 5 months left as in term of office. I wonder what kind of support Dr. Kandeh they talk about. Help for enlightening we by here, please.
Well, the kind of support where Dr. Kandeh they talk about now, the support for himself, not to support for Sierra Leone, not to support for NGC, now himself, his own support. He's seeking his own interest. You understand? You rightly said, Dr. Kandeh don't talk on several times. He said, if I am called to national service at any time, I will oblige. If you can remember, I have catalog of videos and audios of keynote people and politicians as well. I put their names and put the dates and save them on my computer for this exact same reason. Where he said, if I am called to national service at any time, I will oblige. Is Dr. Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella not a national politician? Brother Chroma,
Exactly.
it's a question.
Exactly.
Is he not a national politician already? You understand? So you see, a lot of these things, people say them, we just forget them. We don't actually pick it up for what it is. If somebody already serve as a member of parliament, which is a national service, you're serving the entire country. Mm-hmm. You're not just serving Kachom or whatever in Gambia. You're serving the entire country. Yes. as a member of parliament. You understand? If such a person can say, if I'm called to national service at any time, I will oblige, it should say that person they not satisfied with to say they. And another thing where Dr. Kandeh Yumkella say in audio, he said, he don't want to be minister. You understand?
Yeah.
He said this, if you listen to it carefully, he mentioned the positions that he doesn't want. You understand?
Yeah.
He doesn't want all those positions. If you don't want to be minister, you don't want to be deputy minister, you don't want to be director, which you want to be? What is above the ministerial position, directorship, and all of this? What is above that? You understand? Because certainly if you go below that, a member of parliament, are they right now? He can't go any lower than that. Maybe go council or whatever. Yeah. But he doesn't want to go lower than that. If he says he doesn't want to be minister, he doesn't want to be a director or anything like that, then he's vying for something like maybe vice presidential position. And that means we brother, Namikono brother, Dr. Julie Jallo, right now in Osifaberi Host, because he's so worried. He's so worried. You understand? He's so worried. So much uncertainty surrounding his position. You understand? And he deal within the president in discretion for deciding whether they're going to be running mate. And the president has not made such decisions yet.
Yeah.
And the president he don't go on a retreat with Kandeh Yumkella for a whole week or weekend, 5 days they were together. The vice president was not there. He wasn't invited. He was not invited to that retreat. And all of a sudden, KKY comes from that retreat. People naturally will ask, members will ask, well, Paddy man, this man we don't criticize for all this time. This man we don't create all this dombolo in this country. You don't go on honeymoon with this guy for 5 days or 6 days. You don't come back, you stay quiet. Paddy man, tell me which thing they go on. You understand? And instead of him diligently trying to explain that to his members, okay, when I get right for ask me, when a leader, anything will happen, and need for Konani Tona. He calls them children. Picking up for everything big man they talk about. He talks about wedding, all these, unnecessary and irrelevant contrast that he's making to just to distract the people from the right thing. And he said they're questioning him. Why shouldn't you be questioned? You're not there on your own account. You're serving. You were elected. Absolutely. You understand? It doesn't matter whether I inform the party or not, but him alone does not constitute NGC. NGC is NGC because of the members. You understand? Yeah, now Australia, now the party they sit down, they see the prime minister don't misbehave, then go to the meeting, then kick him out in the afternoon. I'm telling you, it's not a feat. Several times, we in a space of 3 years, we had 3 prime ministers kicked out by the party. The party room that they go, the caucus go sit down. They say, but this man is not correct. Which is so you know represent the party. They kick him out and replace him straight away. It happens here all the time. You understand? So why shouldn't KKY show that he has a responsibility to NGC and NGC members? Why, if I patronize them? The comments that he made, it shows he get an amplified view of himself. I say this with all dignity and respect for him. I'm not trying to disrespect him, but the comment the way he make is so disrespectful to NGC members, is so offensive. If I was part of it, I would feel offended, because I would say picking one everything big man they talk. I will talk about wedding calabash being passed on without dress properly and stuff like that. You understand? There are people in there in NGC that are better educated than KKY. This is the truth. There are people in NGC that are older and got more experience when it comes to politics than KKY. There are a lot of people we don't know more.
So yeah, let me bring this comeback. Let me bring this comeback to you before I move on to the other brother Warise. Of course, the issue they discuss is span over a little over 4 years, and in some cases beyond. They try to understand the money mindset as to what lead to this. So in as much as we've been very critical of him, we're not there on the inside for no, like you mentioned, the retreat where Dr. Kandeh go with the president. Big man and go talk, not to old man need for a waiting talk, but now how you can't tell the other small one them waiting on a talk on the inside is something that even parable now in the pool. So you don't really need for talk the talk. But what about the issue of pressure on Dr. Kandeh? Because imagine you say something from the very beginning of the program where resonate with me quite well, which is this notion, because it like say we the people themselves now we get the problem. This notion of supporting strong men or people, individual them, has been a problem now in country for quite a long time. Instead of we support institutions and policies, instead now passing them now with the support. Such is the case of Dr. Kandeh Yumkella. So when it comes to this point now, and I would like for you educate me on this as well. Dr. Kandeh not able to realize in goal inside the NGC, and I shall say what we say will agree with this as well. And the ambition is to be president. And one of the things that we outline in you case where you make short lastly, now the man say, I want to be minister, of course, because that means you go below the belt. So you won't punch above the belt. You remember something bigger. But the idea here is what I want to talk is like more hypothetical. When he and the president talk, when the president go down promise them, of course we are about vice presidency, but that challenged the political institution and the party itself, because if you go give Kandeh the vice presidency, what about Vice President Julde? What about the constituency vote about Julde? The tribal vote about Julde? And they talk about a fuller vote to Julde. Do you understand where they come up from here? You want to touch on that quickly? Let me understand exactly.
Make a refresh your memory. You're far older than me. You've got more experience than me, and I believe Mr. Warise is also older than me and got more experience than me. So when I know more about what they can talk about.
Even though Warise look the youngest because he's well trimmed, you pull all you get all
Now they're old man.
So
fine face,
what they can talk about is perhaps something that you guys lived through. I read about it. I heard from stories, but you guys probably read through. The former president, Dr. Shaka P. Stevens, at some point, he get 2 vice presidents. You understand? Let's not forget that. At some point, he had 2 vice presidents in Sierra Leone. So there is provision for run with 1 candidate. Yes, but the president is not limited by creating auxiliary presidency, vice presidency. Let's remember that. Let's very much remember that this president is within his right for creates a second vice presidential office. You understand? Is within his right to do that. Let me give you an example. Where Anes Baikuroma gets issues with him former Vice President Sam Sumana, he created the special assistance to the president. You understand? A special executive assistant to the president and cabinet ranking. You understand? Don't forget that. That was a pseudo vice presidential role that was created where Dr. Blyden being occupied. You understand?
Yes.
Right now, if you look at President Bio in chief minister position, the chief minister, wouldn't the role of the chief minister in contrast with the vice president? It's a pseudo vice presidential role, because the chief minister, all the ministers, then they report directly to him. You understand? He supervises all the other ministerial positions. So what I tell you is that there is a very good chance that that President Bio, if he win, and during the campaign, he will run with Dr. Julia Jallo. When he wins, he will scrap the chief ministerial position and create a second vice presidential position in ministry, which he has the right to do. We had no chief ministerial position in Sierra Leone before President Bio took over. You understand? I'm just drawing your attention to facts that I believe we can reflect on what has happened before, what is happening now, to determine what might happen tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough here. And Fambulem, we get almost 150 people and jointly they watch. And we ask Una, please, can we multiply this number? And the multiplication can only take place if we continue for share. Thank you very much. Brother Warise, you make quite a critical point right there. So yes, one thing we do know is constitution is that kind of elastic constitution that we get. It's so porous that you can exploit them in many ways. And these are things in the case you make. So the president, within the right, if they want to do so, do such. But what would be the ramifications and what will happen in the country? Should we go that way before we come back again quickly to actually Dr. Kandeh? Because you're a very experienced man at that field there. I mean, you are a lead when people like you follow.
Yeah, I think Prince, put them rightly. And you remind me, of Tina, we're very, very critical. But also, let me not forget, when Tijankaba was president, he may get 2 vice presidents. So I want to go with to some extent. Tijankaba may get 2 vice presidents in the person of Fodi Sanko and Berewa. What to make them make Fodi Sanko give him vice president rank now because of the Lome peace accord. So then bring him, then put him on top so many ministries and then call him vice president rank. We may see Fodi Sanko occupy that position there in Sierra Leone before actually what happened to them happen. But I want, based on what you will investigate, I want to go back to the SLP, the constitution, because this thing I want to we follow critically because it's important for what we tell Sierra Leoneans them how it get for happen or what it get for happen. The fact now that it was difficult for the Marabio select KKY as a running mate. Now, me view that one day. First, what I be hearing, the way they behave, based on the intelligence, will be the gather. That was my view. Say, they want to make him a running mate. We will pan out very, very well. Because KKY don't be SLP all in life. So, if he become the running mate and in another hour, it will give APC a serious run for him money. Julia Jallo, say what you mean. They're not Sabian enough, but KKY they're Sabian. So this will be review. But let's take on back to the SLP then constitution. Yeah. If you go to page 98 of the SLP then constitution, you see D on that page 98. D is say leader / flag bearer / deputy leader / running mate. Before you be anyone panel here, I say 1 shall be a fully paid up member of the party in the category of distinguished Grand Chief Patron for at least 5 years. So not just take that one green day. If we take that one day, it's difficult for the KKY qualify for the running mate to Madabio at this point. So maybe that one they create a safety net for Julia Jalo. But going forward, KKY talk about unity. KKY say, what you make it do, now for unity. What I don't come for belief that based on what you don't tell me, based on what I don't hear from you, Prince Naya today, what I don't come for belief. KKY unity they talk about now for unite NGC and the SLPP, because the NGC now offspring of the SLPP. So what thing they talk about in unity they talk about, not for national unity, make it go now SLPP back, or if you get for good day, now because you want to ensure say it unites the NGC and the SLPP again. But I think say you get a serious backlash with that because most of the people will get integrity within the party, they don't see when they left the party in droves. If KKY want to talk about unity, they will not ask Madabio for go beg or for go console the people at the north for where they will slaughter them, picking them.
Yeah.
The generator. If you don't draw Madabio attention to the statement we make in a radio, say Ian and Escoma, not to Paddy. If you don't draw Madabio attention to that one day for the sake of unity, so you get for do this. If KKY and national unity they talk about, the lady when they rape during the elections, na Kailau, Lamina or something like that. I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
When they rape na Kailau, when in family are grieved right now, KKY will not ever tell Madabio say you therefore go and reconcile with that family because of unity. With all what not happen, especially around August 10, KKY don't ever come and say, I tell the president, make it bring the north and the south and the east and the west together for unity. No, he's never done that. So the unity when he thinks say KKY they talk about is uniting the NGC, most members will come on the SLP will go from the NGC with the SLP again, because this is in Papa in party. This is in Papa them bring that party and you know go left out for nothing. I don't care if Madabio they lay all man a street and flog them every morning. KKY will continue for suit out as long as it is SLPP. But if there be any other party with all what not happened in the last 4 or 5 years, KKY for don't turn Talabi, especially with the power where he gets in the parliament. KKY for Sigom and come back and tell me say Madabio na a good man with all what not happen. Trust me, you see how he criticized. We see how he criticized Anes Kuruma, within not to be elected opposition.
So the girl in name where you been try for talk about and call on Satan Lamin. Somebody
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Leah Johnson Hamler. Yeah.
Very good. Satan Lamin, when they gang rape, he ever tell Madabio say you go for unite that family, you go for make sure say then no say now you na president, now you the governor. All that thing that we don't happen, we don't bring disunity. We don't continue for deepening the political divide. KKY don't come out and ever say. So what you have been saying under that, in unity we been talk about now in statement we been make when you analyze them well, is trying to unite the SLPP with the NGC again. Sorry, I got I miscalled in the trouble. So for me, this man gets deficit when it comes to integrity. He gets a serious deficit when it comes to integrity because in what them no fiber, what he always done the tell Syrian the way they believe in now. Now we go a little bit to what's in our opposition. What's in our opposition? When they elect you, when people are not entrust you, they not elect you, they send you go as opposition. They not be elect you, send you go for go work with or go be in alliance or go be in talks with the president or with the SLP. Then send you for go oppose that leader. Then send you for go oppose that man in policies. Then send you For go oppose the thing the way that man they do so that the country will be better. So if you go as an opposition throughout your 5 years, now talks you they get with all the corruption we don't happen. You una don't hear it, these people in parliament don't hear it, KK don't hear it. They pull an authentic report where Madam you not challenge take tomorrow. Say he forged receipt in a state house. You cannot question this man. Then you go join this man. Trust me, this guy in integrity, you don't mortgage him. He get right. You put him rightly, he get right. Now right. So they just come out and left all the sugar-coated vibes and all of that. They come out and say, I am going back to my father's party. I'm going back to the SNP. Now he right. Whether they want to make him president now, whether they want to make him running mate now. For we, now what thing he don't say, what he don't do over the years, now we therefore hold them to account for. That's all.
Okay. Fair enough points there, and points noted and points taken. Fair enough points, Warise, and points noted.
And if I add something,
yeah, sure.
A small bit. Well, not like this. He say they retire. Not so. He say he want to retire. That's a critical statement. Where they talk, oh, I'm not the minister again. Oh, I'm not the minister on the MPRC. I'm not for this again because I don't be this. What do you want? He say he want for retire. So, like I've been telling you now, I got a friend who say KKY might not openly declare for Mother Bill because Tin and the way they stop and for let be running mates. But there is something that KKY wants. So that is how selfishness comes inside. I don't care about the lot. I don't care about the masses. I don't care about the people who support me. In fact, they don't matter because $100 they will give. They don't matter. And you know very well what people will go through for make $100 in America or Britain. It don't matter at all. You say I go inside because of your personal aggrandizement. I go there because of your selfish reason. So if you want to retire, now this is not the way where you retire from politics. What do you want from Mother Bill? Where you go in alliance? Where you dey in talks with them? What do you want? I know for go that far based on waiting. I don't hear people the way they don't where they follow the politics, where they talk to KKY, where they talk. They don't tell me in them where you look forward to. But Lord, you watch, Lord, you see. But for me, in behavior selfish, in behavior show we say you don't mortgage integrity, in behavior tell me say if you don't sell me out, if you don't sell the people sell me out, no longer and not behave like opposition throughout. And opposition, it means simply I don't always hammer this point. If you know how to be opposition, go join the party. But if you call yourself opposition, you roll now for oppose, nothing else. You roll now for oppose that government, especially you can compromise, yes, with good policies the way you also get national interest. But for sacking the auditor, now good policy that one day, not so good policy. For stop people and for let them get their right for demonstrate freely. Now, not a good practice that one day. So if you don't criticize those things rather than support them.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, Thomas. If you don't criticize those things other than support them, and the good doctor, apparently from the record, never really did. I want to look at the article on the screen. I don't know, yeah, they see the article on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, that's good. And I want to let you use your analytical skills, based on this article, because there is this back and forth about Dr. Kandeh's statement where he make what he imply, what he infer, and you name it. But here is Dennis Bright, a key member of the NGC. Obviously, they express himself on certain basis. So we don't say the article, which could be biased depending on who the writer or the editorial of the newspaper or the news article, the surreptitious dealings of the founder of the NGC, Dr. Kandeh Yumkella, who this week resigned from the party. Because we seem for the problem as to whether he resigned or not. But he did resign from the party to align, another keyword, with President Madabio. Of course, Dr. Kandeh said it. What did he do? He carefully crafted the language so that we go get this conversation, both for and against. And yeah, I think we lost you briefly, but if you are still there, what do you make?
I am.
What do you make of this article, brother? Yeah, elaborate quickly.
Happy say this article, I think, is written by Kabas Kanu. It captures the events surrounding KKY, the comments they will make, and also talking about Dr. Dennis Bright's resignation, the rationale for his resignation, and of course it cited integrity, like I started earlier. There's an issue about lack of integrity on the part of KKY that has been cited here, that resulted in Dr. Dennis Bright resigning, the North America regional chairman, Arun Zubairu resigning, the Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Silla resigning, the regional chairman, Western Region, Arthur Pierce resigning, and several other key agbagbas. Yeah? Mr. Alan Luke also announcing resignation in protest against KKY decision. But here is something that you need to look at.
Yeah.
What in actually Dr. Dennis Bright say, according to this article, if you look at it, what Dr. Dennis Bright, the rationale where he provide for a resignation is that he no able distance himself, he no able dissociate and erase all he get in his head about how this government don't perform over the past 4.5 years. He can't just bury it and pretend it does not exist, because these are things that affected the common Sierra Leoneans. You understand? He said on that basis alone, he's decided to step down from his position because he cannot support, consciously cannot support the alliance with any other party or the change. He said he cannot support a change of view towards SLPP. You understand? Because if you look at it, Dr. Dennis Bright has been into prison several times. KKY has never been.
Yeah.
You understand?
Good
Dr.
point.
Dennis Bright has been to prison several times because of his stance for NGC, his stance in COP, and several other of these things. Yes?
He did an parliament, he
several times.
So they're not going to put him in prison. He did deals.
Yes, so he has not only seen the suffering of other Sierra Leoneans, but he's actually suffered himself personally. He talked about in his resignation letter, he referenced the concerns that his family and loved ones have for him as a person. You understand? His personal security and safety that has been jeopardized because of him criticizing the dubious deeds of this government. You understand? So for him to say now, okay, KKY has said, let's form an alliance with SLPP, he's going to forget that all of that did not exist. He's saying that he can't do that. You understand?
Yeah.
So that is what this article is capturing, and I'm glad that you've also displayed his resignation letter for people to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
that's what we do here. Yeah.
And understand exactly what it is. I don't know whether I can read that exact part.
Please do.
He said on the third paragraph, the truth is that I still hold on to those views and positions that I have expressed openly in the media about the political situation in the country, and I have seen no sign of change that should let me change them. I do hope that Sierra Leoneans will judge me fairly. You understand? So I'm not reading it properly because it's hard to see. But what he's saying that he cannot change. He cannot change his view of the government, and he has not seen any indication whatsoever to make him believe that they are going to change their way of leadership for the better. So as a result, this is the first point we make. This is the first point we make.
And yeah, like KKY, this man, Dennis Bright, was SLPP. In fact, he served as minister for several years under Tijankaba as SLPP. But when it comes to integrity, when it comes to what I don't say, you understand? That is where he was trying to hammer his reason for resigning from the party. Wait for me, I respect so much. Go on, go on.
So what I'm saying is that if Dr. Dennis Bright was to go now and join, for example, I'm not saying, I don't know, I don't think he'll do that. It's more dignified than that. But if he was to go now and say, okay, tomorrow I'm joining APC, you understand? I will not fault him. I know SLPP members will listen to this and say, yeah, the APC man. But what I'm saying is that he has resigned from the political party because he does not believe in the direction the party is heading. You understand? He has dignifiedly resigned. Now he's a free agent. He can go anywhere he chooses. You understand? And I think that's what KKY should have done. But people don't write here, they talk to you. Not talking in English. Now that's KKY for don't do.
Yeah.
KKY for don't say, okay, you know what, I don't bring this party so far. I don't take one to elections. We don't win 4 seats. We are the fourth largest political party in the country after C4C and APC. So now I want to tell you thank you for give me this honor, this respect for making a lead to the party. But leading to the convention, the national convention, I want to know say, thank you, but I don't want me and they move on. If KKY been do that, me ARP Thomas not for don't consider for like all the shortcomings then they for don't accept say what you don't see, it makes sense. You understand, eh? Yes. I for don't accept that, I for don't respect him even more. You understand? Because he did within right for do that. But for the fact that he tried for play full of members, thousands of people who don't support him out of nowhere. You understand? He come up from nowhere. Imagine KKY just come just because he work na UN. Me, I don't work na UN. For say myself I go contest for presidency just because I work na UN. No. You understand? He come up from nowhere. He just come all of a sudden. He want to become president for the state, and people supported him. People left the US, came to Sierra Leone, and stayed there for over a year supporting him in his campaign. From 2017, the Sierra Leoneans, they wouldn't abandon their jobs, their family, then dedicate their time and life to MGC and KKY for making KKY become president. And today, what has happened is let them down by making the decision that he's making. You understand? And the saddest thing about it is that he's not remorseful. He still feels that it's within his rights to do what he's doing. If you listen to the audio, he's making a mockery of the people. Okay. You understand?
Okay, yeah. If I will get for stopping it, because I really don't want to make this like a burden on we people. I talk about the video in itself, the length of the video. And I'll be intent for doing 1 hour 30 minutes. We just don't go over the 1 hour 30 minutes mark. Because it's so interesting and critical, so maybe you might do it for another 30 minutes. Just for cover up many other areas. And I hope I know they take on a time off because we all get with different engagements. If anybody do, make a know, yeah. So we go let you go because we get for attend to issues. You get for pay the mortgage bill. You get for pay other bills. Them. That's.
Well, me, I'm happy for stay till 9 o'clock Sierra Leone time.
Okay then, yes. Brilliant, yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. Many thanks for that. What we say?
Yes.
Here make, of course, great brain. You can disagree with him, love the brother, but that's what he is. He makes his comments, he making an analysis, you read it between the lines. Even though we all get your inherent biases, but largely, now something we for embrace. Yeah. But what I want to bring to you, what we say is the general political class. Then take we, the general public, for the idiots. I think we talked about that earlier. And I suppose say the doctor equally they do. So then tell me about this Salon Force. And I don't put the article there back again. We read that. And this is well captured. Salon Force mantra, Salon Force, Salon Force, Salon Force, Salon Force. A Salon Force. And the reason why you've been you advocate for the Salon Force, what we say, now an advocate expert. So I use the word advocacy, advocate. It kind of resonate with you quite well. They use that forget the salon people, online with them, in tune with them. In other words, they criticize the other, that they are not salon force, they are for themselves first.
Yeah.
But Dr. Kandeh is salon force. But Dr. Kandeh now leaving the party because it's clear that he has resigned from the party, regardless of how people in the tribe will explain him. He's resigned from the party and he's going to join the president because the president asked him, say, Bodiabo can't join me, Bo. Let we, take this country go forward. It's a good thing to say, but when it comes to substance, it seems to be lacking. I wonder what your thoughts on this are, Warise.
When you talk personally, I tell you, say, KKY in behavior shows say he's not a leader.
Yeah,
He's not a leader. He not show anything we get for portray somebody as a leader, especially this particular time. And somebody working at the UN, I don't care what kind of office you work at the UN, you not mean say you're not leader.
Yeah.
Because the UN get a system, just like the American president. Just like the American president. There's a system where you go follow. I don't care what in there are rules, there are procedures where you go follow, where you work at the offices and day. So what you care go there, now you training, now you go use. But when you come to the policy, the procedures, you get for follow within the UN standard, within the protocols and say. But when it comes to leading politically, you get a lot of things for put in place. You get a lot of pieces where you put in place for ensure say you come up, you show up as a leader. When you president self, not mean say you're a leader. They don't make you president, but when you need to show leadership, you understand? You not get that leadership trait, charisma, that's what it take for move people and for influence people. You are not a leader. KKY in style or in behavior, now one way one use for coerce the NGC members, because I think say they don't think this through. You don't think serious one. How I will come broke this news to members say we need for go join. Yeah. You don't think about them. You don't try to rationalize them. Is it proper? Is it improper? It go good for me. It go good for we. It go good for the party. So what he missed the boat. Like how he put them. If it were me, where I believe say I get integrity, and that will come out and tell people say this now we party, we don't form them for so and so and so. But because of XYZ reason, I am going back. You don't need for talk plenty, self. You don't need plenty talk. As a leader,
no.
When you come, you just need for make your position clear.
Exactly.
Whether they follow you, they follow you. Whether they follow you, they not follow you. But you forget that power for you to influence the people. But
what we say, suffice me, here for jump in because I've been want to get something clear and your thoughts on this. Because of what you say right now. The fact that it come out and was really critical about those who were critical of him in terms of indecision. What did that imply, according to you, as by your analysis? Because the doctor seemed for have some vexation with some certain components or elements them of the NGC, and he was not restrained at all. He make it clear, $100 and what have you, it means nothing.
Yes,
and of course you criticize that, but they ask you, you have to go into the mind of the doctor and think, why did he do that?
Because you not get reason for can't give the NGC as to why they will follow this SLPP, this Madabio government. You not get reason for can't give them. So the best way we in feel safe for put them, now that way you put them. So just can't threaten them, tell them say you don't achieve all. Wait from me, very, very selfish. You know to the be all and end all as a union. Fortunate for let them give you appointment at the UN and as Kroma, we all know now he approved that appointment, otherwise you not for be what you be at UN. So for me, enough for showcase himself, because all man already know that you KKY. What you believe for showcase now you leadership. How you influence them people there for let them join you. But you not get reason. With all what not happen, Sierra Leone over the last 4 or 5 years, KKY cannot advance anything meaningful for NGC. Look at Dennis Brighton's statement. Because I don't believe this country, I believe. I don't watch this government. There's no way where I will drop them thing they will not say against the government because they still persist, they still they happen. So KKY know this, he know the minds of the NGC members. So now if you can't threaten anymore. So after all, we don't achieve all things. After all, we don't be the highest person in the world. But hey, with whatever you get, whatever leadership you get from being humble, that's one of the qualities of a leader. Humility. When you come, let them know, say you don't come to them and you want to influence them with humbleness. Say, I want to take we go SLP for XYZ reason. But he couldn't show that. He couldn't show that. And there's no way he could show that because we all know the track record of the Mother BO government over the last 5 years. So even a struggle, that bring what he able for show the people of NGC and Sierra Leone to say, KKY is not a leader. He is not a leader at all because for me, now this is the moment we for those leadership to the NGC. And somebody mentioned earlier, say, oh well, I think Thomas, I mentioned that one day. Oh well, enough for them left NGC and go to SLP, enough for them. For me, what I believe now that when you set up a political party in Sierra Leone, always we get a third party in Sierra Leone. The eye of that party, now in people and they look what they follow, not to the ideology behind the party. Unlike the SLP and the APC, those have not to ideology because most of them not get ideology, now tradition. So okay, me na nothing now APC are the follow. Oh, me na Southeastern now SLP are the follow. This is not the tradition we keep. So a third party, it would be difficult for them to come and say, with this ideology, are they come into politics. And the NGC not being for carve that niche, they're not being for carve them, they're not for showcase, say, then really come and they're ready for make a change between the Alusai and the Alassane. Say to the extent, KKY don't come become busy. I want to take it quick to a text before I finally say what I want to say. I want to take it to a text message. Somebody send a text message, Jibrila Kamara. He make a very salient point. He say what he say, Mada Bio can do anything to secure a second term, including flouting the SLP constitution. As a matter of fact, Jules was never an executive member of the SLPP for 1 year before he was chosen as running mate to Mada Bio. Mada is serial violator of constitutional provision. You understand? That I want to agree, I want to give this particular texter. Because Mada Bio, for him, he can do anything. And people, they don't tell me, now KKY in private conversation with people that we Sabiam, when they close to them, they don't tell me, say, they talk him several times, say, Mada Bio ruthless. It is talk him several times, say the man is ruthless. In private, in personal conversation with people that we know. We make it will be very, very difficult for the KKY come out public and say, I am going to SLP.
Yeah.
So finally, if I want for if you want to make an end statement, with this kind of behavior, lack of leadership and everything not put down on their side, KKY not like Sierra Leone. Anybody will come as opposition against Mada Bio, don't deny the system in the last 4 or 5 years. When they oppose Mada Bio, you know they come at this nick of time.
Okay, we suddenly lost we brother out there, which could be due to technical issues, but we still get Thomas. Thomas, you want to take him from there? And in fact, let me posit this to you, my dear brother, because we come towards the end of the program, and we want to talk about what then NGC, because NGC, okay, I think what we say is back. What we say,
yes, I think I hear you now.
So you're in a point and suddenly you disappear. So you
yes. For some reason, you just break.
Break absolutely.
So KKY for me, it don't show Sierra Leone to say, it don't like Sierra Leone. It like KKY, it like himself, past any other thing. Now that make when you go for go talk to NGC them, now himself, he go praise. He go praise himself, he go talk about himself, he go talk about his achievement, he not say anything about Dr. Dennis Bright, whether on the lock up all this while, you not say anything about, no, you know, what he come for can talk about. Now, in self KKY and bluff say, if they want to let them go, any side they want for go, in talks. Now, me they tell you now, this is a quote and the quote KKY. And they tell you now, say, are they in talks? That's dishonesty. Why you not been on tell you participate in talks with the ruling government? Why? All these years, waiting wrong? What you they hide? Now you can say, oh, are they in talks? I'm in talks with Madabi, I'm in talks with the SNP. I mean, you know, behave honestly. That's not dishonesty. That means we don't need backstab Dennis Bright. We don't need backstab at your PS. We don't need backstab all the people who be not to have the talk. Good thing about you.
So what we say, while you carry on, just a quick one again. Are you implying that from what we understand now, that while even carry on these talks, because now two way, you know, that the Dr. Dennis Bright and all the other officials of the NGC were not aware that the man is in negotiation or they in conversation with the government.
No way. They are not aware. Not to Dennis Bright tell me the one day, not to Atopias tell me the one day, not to other NGC members. Now, KKY himself. He said, now I tell you, say, I tell you in the open, say, I'm in talks with the SLPP. How dishonest? How could you be so low? For all what you don't know over the years, you're not starting for engage in diplomacy, you're not starting for engage political party members, you're not starting for engage people them when you don't work with over the years. That's how you depart from them. Oh, now I will tell you, I say, are they in talks? That means all these years when you're not silent with all the brutality, with all the corruption, with all what that happen, that means you don't sell these people out. That means your idea of Salon Force is fake. Not to be a Salon Force. Now you KKY Force. So it can do anything, not to just Marabi can do anything. KKY don't tell you say it can do anything for they get close to those who get political power.
Okay. Fair point there. So yeah, we try for go down to the NGC now and how and why. There are many comments now the comment room and fumble them with the appeal to owner for. I mean, you can't get 2, 3, 5, 10,000, 15,000 viewers them, and then you get only 100 likes. Please try for like the video if you like them by using or clicking on the thumbs up or thumbs down. Express something that helps the channel for grow. Whether you are critical of the channel, we go look into that, and then we try to understand what we do we're not right, where people are not like. And follow us on Facebook or like with Facebook page. We also get a dedicated YouTube channel where they broadcast this to now. For now, we get over 150 viewers collectively. But one multiply that number there before we land. And it's quite an appreciable number, and we are thankful and grateful to Una. Thank you so much. Yeah, Thomas. We don't hear all of this, obviously. But political reality, coming back to the topic, is that Dr. Kandeh is gone. The NGC supposed to be or remain a political force somewhere out there. When I say force, I don't mean like, no, that's not what I mean. Because the talisman, for goodness sake, whether you like it or not, was Dr. Kandeh. And he overshadowed a lot of people. Now that he's gone, it gives way to other people, for kind of shine or rise, if you will agree with me. But the question to you here, after Dr. Kandeh, the NGC, what is next?
That's a very good question, Mr. Krover. In terms of saying Dr. Kandeh is gone, according to him, he said he's in transition. He's in negotiation for alliance.
Of course, political. Don't learn so much. From a technocrat to a politician.
Yeah. So when I look at it, what I look at it is that they're in a precarious situation. Should he go?
Absolutely.
People will abandon him. He's going to go by himself. Nobody's going to chase him. Should he stay? It becomes very, very comical if he stays after everything he said in that audio. So really, his position is untenable. He's better off going. And if he goes, if me not Marabio, I will just tell the man, say, I don't destroy this guy already. I don't need him anymore.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Marabio doesn't need Dr.
Yeah, so on that case, Marabio must be really desperate for a man where he don't destroy already, for Brian come back because he need him. That's a sign of desperation.
Well, it's maybe Madabio is a man of integrity. Because if you say Madabio, the people who wouldn't surround them, the people who don't do it from NPRC time with time. Say now they are there. So those people must have seen something in him that you and I perhaps don't see. So he must have owned up to his words. That's why some people have been sacked, reappointed in several different positions. That's why you have Minister of Finance. You know, he had 3 different ministerial portfolios before he was finally laid off recently. You have, Chief Minister was Minister of Finance and they didn't do well. They removed him there, put him as Chief Minister. That's how you have Professor David Francis was Chief Minister. He messed it up. They removed him there. They put him as Foreign Affairs. So he might be a man of integrity. So maybe you keep to his words or his promises to KKY. But what I'm saying is to you, politically, if I was in Madabio's position, I would say, no, you know what? KKY is not relevant to me anymore. NGC is not relevant in the political dispensation of Sierra Leone anymore. You've killed NGC practically by getting KKY to say what he said to his members. NGC is dead. There's no way anybody's going to take them serious anymore. Now, what's the way forward for NGC? I have to say NGC members, them number one, they need to recognize the fact that not only the top-ranking people don't resign, but SLPP don't open the door to a flood of NGC supporters, NGC members when they come in. A lot of them. So they've practically destroyed NGC by using KKY, and they open the door, they welcome all the NGC members them. So there's a lot of NGC members that have gone back. Remember, NGC was the third force. NGC was the force that marked the difference between SLPP and APC. NGC said we want to do things differently. Different from APC, different from SLPP. So most members, quite a larger proportion of NGC members were SLPP members and APC members who were aggrieved with both political parties. They found NGC as a third force. So if NGC break down, what do you think is going to happen to those members? They're going to revert back to their original political parties. That is what's going to happen.
Of course.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm mesmerized because way ahead of the conversation. Equally so is Warise. This is what we call pure analytical minds. Able to read minds and insinuate, infer, long before you even begin your journey. They are ahead. Many thanks for that. But let's just stick with you on that basis there of exactly what's not happening. But the bottom line here is a large majority, or probably I don't get the language right. So let's try for better use of English language. Some of the supporters of Dr. Kandeh, implicit in Dr. Kandeh himself, who was SLPP, when he go, a lot of people who were aggrieved with the SLPP, they move along with them. So don't you think, and this time the question say, it should be easier on the journey back, because the journey for go adventure, and the difficult one, you don't know what you go meet, but you've journeyed here too. Now you're coming, you're back. It should be easier. Don't you think that those who are, SLPP initially, I mean, they are just happy. They might make hoo-ha out of this, but they are going back home anyway.
Of course.
Yeah. I think it's, like you said, Barakroma, is very easy. But it's easy because of the party structures and the leadership in place. If you look at SLPP right now, then they welcome anybody and everybody. Let me give you an example. There are lots of APC members, NGC members, where and C4C members where they don't go to SLPP that have been given higher positions. You understand? They've been given higher positions for C4C, for example. The big six, where they move from C4C to SLPP. One of them was made a deputy minister of sports, KLM, and several others were given huge positions. They were welcomed back. That is the sort of political party that encourages other members to defect from their party to SLPP. Now, you do that in contrast with APC. APC, then they make laws then where they practically cripple people and when they come back. You understand? You have to be a member for 5 years before you call. You understand? They disenfranchise their own members, and they are also pushing away potential members because they're so focused on stopping people from grabbing positions within the party. That is not the case for SLPP. That is not the case. For SLPP, on the other hand, the door is open to everybody and everybody. You understand? So it's a really huge thing that we need to look at here. And I think on that basis alone, SLPP stand a chance for absorb more NGC members than APC or any other political party.
Absolutely.
That is the fact. The second thing what I want to mention to you is that what don't happen. So what KKY don't do? Let me try to be speaking this in Creole. What KKY don't do so? It not only gets a dire implication on KKY, but it get a dire implication on NGC. The reason we make I say this is plain and simple. The public don't lose trust and confidence in NGC.
Okay, we just don't lost brother there. Absolutely, but we still get what we say. What we say, do you want to take it from Usai left off, or you want for Express? Because
I think I can pick one from Usai left off, because he hammered the point again. He hammered the point again. Yeah. The Sierra Leonean, people, they underestimate the Sierra Leonean when it comes to how they make decisions. People, they underestimate the Sierra Leonean when it comes to how they choose their leaders. But I tell you, a lot of the Sierra Leoneans, then they look at you, then they listen to you, then they follow your words, then what they say.
Yeah.
While you go back to the APC,
you
see Dr. Samora Kamara.
Yep.
Most of the people that we need to talk to, why make them follow Dr. Samora Kamara? Now because of your word. Because them believe say Dr. Samora don't live up to his word. If you remember, in the lead up to the 2018 elections, the only leader will come and say, we take responsibility for what happened for the economy under APC. It was Dr. A lot of people they laugh about us. Oh, they don't talk say APC. No, this is what they call honesty. You not therefore, and in fact, not just honesty. This is what they call leadership. In leadership, you learn to take responsibility. But if you push the blame on other people rather than you, the leader, taking responsibility, it means that you cannot be a leader. Let me go back with KKY. If you excuse, say, oh, people in the bad mouth people in the talk against her, people in the this, people in the that. In fact, that make him go in the retire now, blah 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 blah. But yet, it always say he didn't talks with Marabiu. Now we go back to this short history. Not to KKY, they go now SFP office where they lock gate panel. Not to KKY, we see another video where they lock gate panel. Not to just SFP lock gate panel KKY. They even throw away water or peace by KKY. They even drag their molest in mama where even deal with at the place, and many other NGC them. When this have been physical one, why make KKY not be make decision then and they say, oh, they don't molest me enough, I will retire from politics. Why? The same KKY, now you go to the same party where molest Sam, how they molest Sam, now the front of the SLP office, the way they molest Sam, now the same KKY. So he find it difficult for come talk to people like Dennis Bright, for come talk to NGC members like Winnie Sabi, say Unalo can't go back SLP. So that's where the integrity can come in. If you don't come say, hey, me na KKY, now we all been building this party, but me don't make a decision, say, I go with this party. Now, sorry, I go with the opposition now, where now SLP, I want to join them, I want to deal with them because of XYZ reason. Maybe not only for even giving reason. I want to break, lose with you now, I want to join the SLP. So for me, if you not come out and say this simple thing, them, you come and threaten people, you come for tell them, you come for bring them down as if then contribution to you, not important. Trust me, it will go a long way for damage your credibility. You go a long way for damage that party in credibility. Because the face or the faces of NGC now being Dr. Dennis Bright and KKY. So when two people and they don't left, I don't know if KKY don't left. I don't know if you don't left it. You don't left it. Yeah, because I'm gonna tell people that. I don't left. You understand? But we don't know, we know say Dr. Dennis Bright, because again, integrity, he not to even talk, I write them down. When they go down and the annals of the history say it did not resign from the NGC. So for me, that is about waiting he have been the end with. You don't put the NGC now a bad light, now a bad shape. Uda will come back and say, that put your money. The card they put the money by NGC. Uda will come back and say,
what we say just quickly, sometimes they acting like hypotheticals and sometimes they acting like we don't do that on this platform, but once in a while, conspiracy. How we know say, or are we sure say Dr. Bright and Dr. Kandeh need to coordinate in terms of leaving the party?
Based on the thing that I don't hear, people the way they talk to them, people and they talk to people on the ground. And they talk to people on the ground. I don't think say then get proper coordination. However, what you have been hearing after we don't make a statement we make, somebody tell me say he talked to Dennis Bright about the intention for left the party. He tell Dennis Bright say, may call press conference, may tell the people and say he want left. Dennis Bright tell and say no.
You go make your statement.
Not to me, thank you. Not to me, they go talk for you. Go talk to people them. You go tell them what you plan. So I think say Dr. Dennis Bright don't know this. Say this man, he got for betray me. So that I make Dennis Bright know it's not time for tender resignation from the party because this is not backstab. A leader doesn't do that. A leader didn't do that. A leader for him will rise above all of them. For me, it shows the people of Sierra Leone say, even the best politicians them, and if I go back with Thomas, not just NGC, even the best politician them, you don't tell the people of Sierra Leone say, you not trust them until you see inside them act. You not just come and can tell you and can talk to you believe them until you see inside them act. Now that will tell me because people that I know we believe say NDC can separate or can be different from Alusan and Alassane. Trust me, them plenty. Them get a lot of people, including your family members. So with what that happen, trust me, I think say it don't bring it not just for NDC in a serious dent. We come to how people let me trust leaders where they not put in place, then put in trust of opposition. How do they come look at them after this particular episode?
Okay, fair point. And quickly to you here. Well, after all said and done, Dr. Kandeh Yumkella, I've been the point man, I've been the marksman, I've been the center guard, the midfield player for the NGC party. He was the non-quantity. But now that it don't transition or about for transition or whatever is happening, because there's still denial around, a movement, at least it give opportunity to other people within the NGC for, a kind of rise up. I mean, no offense to other people within the NGC because they get quite a huge and critical base, well-educated base. The likes of Gismed Fode Mamisuma, where at the try for bring come for that we can have a similar conversation. He's been on this platform a few times before. Hopefully, he will take the opportunity for come and can explain to Fambulem exactly what they go on. This is an opportunity for people such as Gismed and others who are still there within the party. But away from Dr. Kandeh, is the NGC a viable force?
That's a very good question and a very way.
Yeah. Did you get me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, me hear you.
Yeah. So,
okay. Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Okay. So what you had to say is that a very good question where you put, and I just want.
Yeah, we hear you. Carry on, yeah.
It's after 9 o'clock Salon time. So this will be my concluding response and remarks, if you don't mind.
No worries at all. We much appreciate that. Many thanks.
Yeah, on the point of the viability of NGC, I feel say Dr. Kandeh, he don't disservice NGC in the manner in which he's gone about it. He don't practically render NGC, he don't incapacitate NGC by the way it exit the party, because people now don't get trust and confidence in that party anymore. Anybody wake up for replacement, wake up for fill their shoes, then people and still not get confidence and trust in that party within 5 months to the elections. You understand? Within 5 months or less to the general elections, people don't lose trust and confidence in the leadership and in the party. People are when they agree to APC and SLPP, they look at NGC as a third force, they no longer get trust and confidence in that party. So I not say beyond the 2023 election, June 24. I not say beyond that. But from now on to this election, I not feel say NGC is a viable political party for this election. I feel say beyond that, the successors them, Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella in successors them, Dr. Dennis Bright in successors them, then go get a way for rebuild that party. Remember, NGC did not start overnight. It started as a KKY movement. Then it went into NGC in 2017. So then we get well over a year before then go into elections. So that said is that they get that time there for build the party in image, for strengthen the structure of the party, for make sure say their leadership is known, what they stand for, their manifesto is actually broadcasted and preached throughout the nation for sell to citizens and so on and so forth. And they were the biggest threat, according to Anes Baikroma. Anes Baikroma considered them the biggest threat to APC in success. Now that make APC in opposition today, because instead of them focus their attention to SLPP, then divert them focus their attention to APC, NGC. That is why you had the Tusil bullet when I misfire, where it can hurt APC more than it hurts NGC, because that was determined to stop KKY on tracks. So it's a lot of things that they did, miscalculations that they did, because NGC was the third force and they were afraid of it. And the international community, I believe, supported NGC at the time. So there's not only a local support, a national support, but international support was building for NGC. And NGC presented so many things the way they've been quite different from APC and SLPP. That is why a lot of people supported them. Not only on social media, not only physically, but financially as well. They were supported, they received a lot of support. So in contrast with what is happening now, Sierra Leoneans, they follow able to rebuild that trust. Anybody who for step now that Tuesday of these two guys, Yumkella and Dennis, anybody who for step now their shoes, they get a hell of lots of work for do. And it's going to take years for rebrand NGC, for let people entrust them again as a third force. They don't see and say, but then why na APC and SLPP in the clothing of NGC. People to gain that trust is going to take years. Now, let me just go to my concluding statement before I go to work. Firstly, I want to say thanks to the then and the then and now media empire. I want to say thanks to my brother, Mr. Kroma. I want to say thanks to Mr. Warite for having me on this program. I want to say thanks to the viewers and listeners out there for having me and listening to us and following this program. Your views, your contributions, your comments, they matter. They're very important to this channel. And to us as guests on this channel, I'll spend my time to go through your comments and respond as best as I can to it. But I want to make we know, say this is about Sierra Leone. This is about the faith of our country, the faith of ourselves, our family, and our loved ones, our community, our tribes, our region, everything that is so important to us. And I tell you, putting KKY under the microscope today don't show, say, we get very limited national politicians in a Sierra Leone way they serve with integrity. You understand? Now that make you see today a lot of people in way SLPP in opposition and they criticize them where SLPP kind of power today, they are SLPP today. That is why you see a lot of advocates them today, they don't already merge with SLPP. Let me tell you, in my conscience, we need to preach the truth. If you want to join SLPP for make a difference, say so. But also do not whitewash the suffering of citizens. Citizens are actually suffering. Even if Namidadi being president of Sierra Leone today, I'll say exactly what I'm saying. You know why? Because citizens are truly suffering, irrespective of which order in power. People are suffering in the country. Life is very, very unaffordable right now. You can't hide that. You can't sugarcoat that. It is the truth. And it must be said out there for everybody to understand. And the other thing where I want to say to you is that KKY in decision, he has a right to his decision to decide who side he want pluck in horse, which party we want join. He has the right. But the manner in which he don't exercise this right is detrimental to his image and credibility, is detrimental to the party way, not only one way Bilamo. So many thousands of Sierra Leoneans that don't stand by and don't put their hope and trust in them. So it's detrimental to it. And that is the point that I want to make. The second point that I want to make is that as Sierra Leoneans will learn for trust and build institutions. We will stay away from any way of. Yeah,
I'm not saying you're about for go, but there's an important comment where I just don't paste na the page. And this is coming from Gismed Fodemami Suma, a man who I get great respect for, and I'm going to tout him, for see whether we were able to bring on the platform. I doubt whether he will say no, because an opportunity for us can have this conversation. But if they watch the program and he can't resist, he posts a comment, and I'll be one for let you comment on that. So in comment says, and I'm quoting, "These are complete misrepresentations of the NGC party. The Honorable Dr. Kandeh Yumkella has not left the NGC. Why are folks so focused on fake news instead of getting the facts from the source?" Probably this is not addressed to us, maybe not to the general public, because we carefully tempered with statement as to whether it don't left or not. And we say, if you don't left, well, this is the case. If you don't left it, this is the case. But that not just made in input into this.
Let me comment. Let me respond to this. Let me respond to this quickly. I sympathize with my brother, Mr. Suma. I know him. I've sympathized with him. I know right now he's in crisis management. So he has to write what is written. You understand? He has to write this. But let me say this to him. I know he's watching. My brother, this is not the way to clean up the mess that has been created by your leader. This is not the way. I know you are the deputy chairman of this party, the NGC party. But let me tell you, what we've said here is nothing misrepresentative in any way, shape, or form. Nobody knows say KKY don't move. They don't say ESSF don't move to SLPP. We've stated it categorically. And if you observe, when I started, I stated first what KKY said his position was. That's the first thing I did. Yes. And then after that, I came about to analyze what has happened. So I am very conscious what I say. Very conscious, because anything we'll say in Ayana media can be kept forever. People can come tomorrow and judge me by it. So I'm very careful. So my brother, you cannot cover KKY. If you attempt to cover the deeds of KKY, you are not doing good for yourself and NGC. You are actually doing, what you're doing is counterproductive to rescuing NGC from the mess that KKY has embroiled the party into. We are talking about this today because of the ill thoughts and ill actions of KKY. Why has your chairman of your party left? Look at the resignation letter of Dr. Dennis Bright, who has gone to jail several times for this party, something that you and KKY have never experienced in your life, or for the party. You've never gone to jail for C4C, NGC. You've never been to jail for C4C. You've never been humiliated as much as Dr. Dennis Bright has been humiliated for NGC. That is the fact, brother.
I like the way how you put has never been humiliated because I know the brother when I'm the deputy chair for the NGC, he has been humiliated before. He has gone to jail for his political sentiment under the Ernest Bai Koroma government. Yes, he was jailed, but at least not for C4C.
Not for
NGC. Now, he make political analysts, very careful.
He visited Sierra Leone this year. You understand? He was all over. I was there when he was there. He was all over the media everywhere, speaking up his mind, saying everything. I was proud of brother Jasmine. But let me tell you, he wasn't arrested. Dr. Dennis Bright was bulldozed to prison every time he makes any comment. You understand? He was there on the ground. Brother Jasmine lives overseas. He goes there to visit and then comes back out. He's not experiencing what Dr. Dennis Bright is experiencing every day. He's not. So let's call the spade. He's probably going to be the person that's going to succeed Dr. Dennis Bright. His role should be how to repair the damages that has been caused by KKY's decision to engage into an alliance discussion with a party, a ruling government that has almost crippled the country. You understand? These comments are very common to say we are representing NGC and, completely. No, we are not. We are analyzing the actions of KKY, the fallout. They are key members. Dr. Jasmine is not the only key member of NGC. They are key members. Arun Zubairu, who is aspiring to be a mayor in Freetown, has spent his money, time, and effort with his wife, gone to Sierra Leone campaigning. What do you think KKY's decisions, actions has cost him? It has cost him everything. He has absolutely no chance now for Sierra Leoneans to listen to him because his platform for campaigning is doing things differently. A third force in Sierra Leone politics. Now he has no grounds to say anything about third force because the person that is the head of the party has defected to the oppressors. You understand? So I don't even understand on what ground.
That's all right. That's all right. Now he make us say he's probably not speaking to the panel on the platform. He's probably speaking to the general public as to how people they perceive.
Wrong is still wrong. Even if he's speaking to the general public, I am telling you, the general public has an opinion, has a view. They've seen facts about what's happening. I think he's still wrong.
And you still stand on your crisis management, your theory that they probably going through now inside.
Yes, I sympathize with him and I understand where he's coming from. But if I was to advise him, I would encourage him to use consolidatory language when he's dealing with the public, because he's likely going to be the successor of Dr. Dennis Bright. Right now,
that's a possibility, and I know the brother they look forward to that, and he's a very smart brother.
Right
but I promise you, I go and come on the show.
Please bring him. I wish he was here today so that we can discuss this and put things into perspective. Okay.
I will try. I promise the panel. I will try for arrange that so that we go get a back and forth instead of just me and him. But I know say he don't appear on the platform a few times before. He's a friend of mine, a brother of mine, and in this situation, as dynamic as he is, I sure say he will take up the opportunity for can clarify issues. Because normally, now man where they observe all of these things, but he hardly comments. Like when the live show they go on. But with this one, he could not resist Una, so he definitely comments. But one last thing before I let you go here, and jump back to Brother Warise, who has been very patient. The Dr. Kandeh, they look for prediction now and projection, if you will like. What do you think would become of the doctor? There were people who they say the doctor is finished. Politically speaking, he's a spent force. But all 10 people can try for reinvent themselves in terms of politics. Oh, they are not lost here there. Worry say, we don't lost here. So wait they say they try for acts here. Probably I will reserve that. But I know say you hear a lot, and including Gismed for the Mami Suma in comments, where I believe say you want for comment too. Care to do that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kroma. That comment that we don't see him, and I will comment on him, even if you not being pull him up.
Yeah.
You understand? Even if you not being pull him up, I will comment on because I pick out two things. One is a complete misrepresentation, and then two is a fake news.
Yeah.
Well, make I give Dr. Mr. Suma the news, the audio and video where KKY make, where he make his statement, it is out there, and the people don't see him. And maybe and the other news, now that the chairman of Empathy don't resign over the statement then.
Yeah.
In they refer to as misrepresentation and fake news. So you get to be very careful, like he say, may not fall in the same mistake where in leader don't fall into right now. We make the whole citizen they shout. You get to tread cautiously because if they deal with a public now, the Sierra public, where people can always underrate, we know very well what they do. They know very well what's in the paper. They understand the politicians and statements them. They understand what's in the politicians they do behind the scenes, and then they keep record of them thing and they. So just let Suma get to be very, very careful when they make public statements now going forward, because you don't make two erroneous statements in the complete misrepresentation. We not misrepresent KKY. Now, what he say, now we analyze. KKY not talk, say he didn't talk with the Marabio government. KKY not don't tell me, say, if NDC wants, better follow, if they want, better left. KKY not talk, say, the $100, the contributions we supported them in the key, not mean nothing. So, which one are the misrepresentation where Mr. Suma talk about? Which are the fake news where he mention? I don't see fake news where you propagate now. I don't see fake news where you propagate now. In fact, maybe to the extent for say he might not be flag bearer, a running mate to Marabio because of the SFP law. I point out the law there. Then somebody else come and counter and they say, no, knowing Marabio for somebody where they flout the laws, trust me, if possible say they will flout the SFP law because the national constitution don't flout them so many times. So they can flout the constitution for make them running mate. I give a person that one day. I say, yes, you're right. When you look at Marabio, you look at the character, you look at the person here. And again, this is politics. So for me, you come to your prediction. We come to prediction. I'm not one for predict again because I think so. We don't predict this man. Now you program here several times. Why don't say KKY and other opposition members don't sell out? You know, it just come then this time. I can't show we say we were right. Say you don't sell out. So going forward, maybe you say in political life, in political career, hinge on the fact of Marabio winning or losing the 2018 elections. For going forward or coming backward, it depends how it get for turnout. And what I will end on, which I will end on, we don't listen to all man, we don't listen to so many people where they brag about Marabio winning the elections, which I will tell Sierra Leoneans them, we have responsibility on election day in Sierra Leone. Now for go out and we have numbers, just like how we come out in our numbers for votes. And you sleep where you get. Keep you sleep where you get. Because God will work wonders. So we go see Marabio in back, and then we go rebuild Sierra Leone once again. Because Sierra Leone has been damaged. Sierra Leone has been damaged. The country run on two currencies right now. The one recognized internationally, the other one, not the Leons, the old Leons, now recognized internationally up to they will speak so today. Sierra Leone is another one. The new Leons, now they make say they recognize not Sierra Leone. But the old Leons internationally, they recognize any platform where you go, where put Sierra Leone currency. What's in the show? Now the old Leons. So these people cannot manage the economy anymore. And they cannot manage unity. So you need somebody new. You need somebody different. You need somebody with a heart of a Sierra Leonean for come and unite that country. So the responsibility where people can get on that day, now for go out and go vote. Go vote.
So just a quick one. Mr. Gismed Suma did respond. because obviously he's watching the program. So therefore, he able for you to say and responded. I'm just a bit lost myself because he say, and I read, I was speaking to the panelist and the ear. I don't know the difference between the panelist and ear because ear is part of the panelist. But I suppose he was also including me, the moderator. I believe say now he Mr. Suma bin try for say that we are misrepresenting the facts. And here are the facts according to him. Forming a coalition is not the same as a merger, which is true. And I think say he had mentioned that, but I pick up on that and say if Dr. Kandeh want to form a coalition, then it therefore need for bring along the NGC. But if you don't resign from the NGC, then that will be a difficult thing. But it's not impossible because this is also atypical with the C4C. Sam Sumana resigned na the C4C, but he did not abandon the C4C because he want to use the C4C as a leverage. I've spoken to key members of the C4C, and they make that very clear that Sam Sumana need for leave. He don't resign, leave with party alone. And Sam Sumana never did because he need for bring the C4C along. But what Mr. Suma they say now, a coalition is when two or more parties decide to form the same government. Each party will continue to exist independently during and after the terms of the very government they formed. Which is true. The definition is true. I don't think say any of we get a difference, here to that. But the idea is Dr. Kandeh has resigned, or hasn't he? That's the question for Mr. Suma. And I hope they will respond to this before we close the program. Has Dr. Kandeh resigned from the NGC? Yes, what we say.
The fact now that Mr. Suma they step out of the argument, with discussion. We discussion here today, now we'll talk about the behavior and action of the man where a lot of Sierra Leoneans gravitate towards, we can form the NGC. Now, him we talk about, not to NGC merging or coalescing with any other party. That's not the point here. The point what we talk about now in action as KKY and how he left the party going forward. So I think say maybe you need to bring Jesnet Suma. Like I say,
definitely I've sent him.
I hope say he will come. I hope say he will come as a young man, come on this platform, can make further blunders instead of trying to reconcile people, you understand, and bring people come together. Because when you begin to tell me, say, what's in there out there, where everybody they read, where they see is fake news, then you are misrepresenting what in KKY say with Almighty.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So if you call on fake news, complete misrepresentation, he get for tread cautiously. He get for, I'm not saying NGC and party, he go elect for NGC, go coalesce with SLP, which is not, there's nothing wrong about that. But the argument now how Mr. KKY or Honorable KKY go about that particular thing there, for me, in the issue, that will be discussed at this panel today.
One of we viewers them in the chat room will resonate with me well because I don't say like he has now. Mm-hmm. Opinion. I mean the guy, Junior J. KY has come to the realization that without SLPP and APC, his political ambition is limited to parliamentary. And what better option can he, KKY, take? My opinion is SLPP. Fact is that without SLPP, it's APC. I understand exactly what the brother is saying, and I agree with you, Junior J, and I believe you watch the program.
Junior right here that Kuma before I go.
Absolutely right. I've been saying this for like years now, yeah.
Yes, the point is not about who you choose for go. Now, how you do them. You understand? Now, people that you betray overnight. Now, people that you tell word when you left at their heart for many years to come. People that we don't sacrifice for you. I'll go back to this. For me, that was very important at the time. When Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora looked at their families back home and told them, if you cannot or you do not go and vote for KKY, we are not going to send our remittances to you. That was a sacrifice. That was a huge. Oh yes, that was a huge sacrifice.
That not a very true thing, because even on the program over the air, so now I know 2 or 3 brothers they watch the program right now. We do exactly what you say, threaten a family down yonder, and one of them, a mama tell and say, he ask him, he say, "I would have born you."
Yeah.
Say you say that God can't say it because of and the brother they hear me, but there are 3 of them where I recognize. But quickly,
of course,
Gismed respond back. Let me just get and Gismed, pick up the phone and call and just clarify this quickly, or left arm. Maybe we go get for bring you on a program where you can't address, but feel free for call and just clarify all of this. But Gismed respond back quickly, and I just read that quickly. The facts are Dr. Dennis Bright has resigned. KKY is heading a committee to lead discussion with any other party, including the SLPP. Yeah, okay, Gismed is calling. So listen to this.
No, I don't get time.
No, listen to this quickly. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. Okay, we got Gismed on the line. Gismed, we're making a present for Miss, but at least now live. Just who's I called from, and then the floor is.
I tell you, Suma, deputy chairman of the Dr. IGC, and not ever resign from the consider they said we move the engine no, now this not candidate SLPP, now not joining the SLPP.
The line not clear. Would waste time. The community get nothing you say.
And and that is all. They happen all over the world. 2004, England, where the Conservative Party the government. So that is not strange. Now, some man go say, just like Peter Bin say, why you go form a coalition government with a party? We don't do this and that. You don't do this and that. But now ask you a question. Both APs and SLPP don't destroy that country for the past 60 years. So who can tell which one has done worse than the other?
So I wonder what's the question about? Why did you have to ask that question, Gismed?
Yeah, because some people are like Peter. Yeah, Peter is he here or Peter? I don't know which one is it.
You mean one of the panelists? If not one of the panelists, now yeah, Thomas.
Yes, he was bashing just the idea of us trying to form a coalition government with the SLPP party. The example I normally give to people: if Mandela, that was locked up for 26 years, finally decided after the apartheid government has aligned their values to the Mandela values, then he decided to listen to and negotiate with them and form a government with them.
The point they make.
Hang on, worry. Say let finish the point.
We're not going to hang on for them because we know exactly what I just made the comment from. The point where they make now not about taking while joining any of the parties. That's not the point. Now, how we go about that?
align their values to that of the NGC values.
That is not the point here, sir. That is not the point, Mr. Jesnel. The point we will discuss now how he went about selling out your party or betraying your party.
We can't speak over each other.
Yes, because he's making a point.
May I please comment? May I comment?
No, hold on. This is interesting. Now, hold on. Let Gismet finish.
I really understand what you say because
okay.
I mean, the line back.
Gismet say you dey them. None of you clearly, but the one way they capture what you they say, they vehemently disagree. But I'll ask you one question before they go to them. You already don't say that. Dr. Kandeh not resign from the NGC at all. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So, panelist, Dr. Kandeh not resign from the NGC, and I don't think say any of we say directly say he resigned. We were just implicit in your kind of thought. Una smart enough.
The point we have been the same.
Implicit is the same as
Mr. Suma. The point we will make now the panel, not about whether KKY don't go.
Anyway, it depends on how.
Is the same as saying he's resigned because
No, sir, not the same.
Not necessarily, Gismet.
No, not the
because
same.
there is context for that you deal with, and you know that you're smart enough for know that. Nobody made an outright statement. So implicit,
may I please respond
completely
to
different.
the brother?
But anyway, now we are waiting and they say, but Gismet, I send you, and in fact, I put you on the spot. I send you an invitation, and I sure say you go take this up because you need for can clarify this.
Yeah. Give me 1 minute, man, just because I go at the run late.
Carry on. Okay, carry on. What you say? I think Gismet.
The point they make, let me start. Just let understand that one day. As deputy chairman of the NGC, it didn't have black and white. The chairman, the substantive chairman, don't resign. The just elected chairman don't resign from the party. What he do? Now, how KKY go about what he do? So the chairman come and tell me, say, we don't see this government. We don't do all of these wrong things. We stand against those principles. We stand against and can't join them. We been condemn that one. The other two been condemn. We KKY do. Now the way he and manner where he go about selling out in party, betraying in party. Why you as a leader, now parliament, been there in talks with government all these years, you can't tell the party say, are they in talks? Now when you get that kind fractured meeting, now they can broker the news. Well, I tell you now, this is a quote at the quote. I tell you now, I am in talks. I have been in talks with this government. That's backstab. Now, then thing we talk about. So for we use them for assessing credibility. We use them for assessing leadership. We use them for assess so many things we'll talk about now. I may not say you don't left NGC. I'm not saying that one. Now Dennis Bright and other people because of that my action, now they don't left NGC. KKY, whether they go from left or not, that is a young cup of tea. The point what they make is how he went about it, especially in statements that we use against people. We don't sacrifice, we don't die for that party, we don't suffer for that party. For me, now we get contention with. Thank you very much. I think so I go for run because we get a lot of team.
Okay, no worries at all. Many thanks if we not get you again, but we appreciate your contribution. Again, as they say, what we say, many thanks for your contribution. We understand say you get for run, but if we not get you again, we understand say you don't make a very good point. Yeah, Thomas.
Yes, and the thing to Slavonians, I don't care how many people enjoy Marabio, we have responsibility that day on election day. Now for come out with our numbers and go vote. That's your responsibility. Thank you very much.
Okay, so with 250,000 people deleted, anyway, we don't lose that. Yeah, your thoughts, please. Gismed strongly disagree with you, and you don't hear some of the sentiments in the way you express your view.
I like I said before, I sympathize with my brother, Mr. Suma. Is in a precarious situation. He is trying to clean up the mess that has been created by the leader of the party, Dr. KKY. He is trying to deal with the fallout of key advisors within the party, including the chairman of the party that he deputizes. You understand? So it's a big job for him. He's not starting really well. Unfortunately, he's not starting really well because he's defending the indefensible. I just want let me reflect on this question what I want to ask him. What he get for do where KKY finally moved to SLPP? In actions today, in comments today, how he get for reflect on them as a possible successor of the Dr. Dennis Bright for make where KKY finally move and declare say in the good don't do in the move to SNPP, because inside this program, yourself, Mr. Kroma, as the moderator, Mr. Warese as a guest, and myself, there is no point where we say KKY don't state categorically that he has transitioned to SNPP. There is no point. So the point where the questions or the concerns where we brother Mr. Suma raised as a misrepresentation is a non-starter. So me no everyone go into that because it's irrelevant. Nobody knows say that. He will contest somebody where somebody say this program is still going on. There is no point in time anybody said that. Our analysis suggests that KKY has already moved. KKY has never been committed to NGC in the first place. There's no point. This is my analysis. This is the analysis of Mr. Warese. This is the general analytical outcome of this program, that KKY, there is no indication that KKY was fully committed to NGC even before NGC was formed. This is my position on it. And I've provided several points. Several points I've provided. You understand?
Okay.
And I've indicated that, and I don't want to go through all them points because I don't want to bore the viewers.
Exactly, because we want to finish the program in the next 2 minutes. So just make the final point, and then I go revert back to Gismed for let it conclude this program for we as a caller, which is strange but very necessary.
Well, me, I would suggest say enough for conclude the program because we are guests of the program. He has just called into the program.
Fair point.
Enough for conclude the program where we don't prepare for several days. We don't come present and with views on them, and it will be a caller we will can conclude the program.
Okay, I want to
don't contribute.
I want to pause your thoughts today. Let me hear it quickly. I agree with you. That's fair point. Yeah. I agree with you. So pause your thoughts. Let me hear one final contribution from Gismed, and then we'll go revert back to you for conclude this program. Gismed, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yes, sir. Your thoughts, please.
Now, for letting say Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella not be ever committed to the NGC even before the NGC starts, that's his own perception. There is no basis for that in the first place. If the man not been committed, then how was he able to lead the MVC to keep the NGC to where it is today as these people, the third force within the country? Somebody likes it or not, that's a fact. So Kandeh has always been committed to the NGC party. So that's another misrepresentation on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with respect to the idea of forming a coalition, as I said earlier, forming a coalition is not a merger. Now, the guy we left just now, I think I say name.
Yep.
He said Dr. Dennis Bright resigned. That's a fact. Dr. Dennis Bright resigned. And in any institution or group or organization or political party, you get people who will get differences. Some people will get a different way for react to the differences. But the fact of the matter is the party has not ever deviated and will never deviate from its core principles to put the country and the nation first as country first principle. Now, Peter, they say how me go react if Dr. Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella finally decides say he left NGC for go to the SLPP, assuming that not the final conclusion when you don't get it, say he go to the SLPP. Well, the fact is, I remain to be NGC and will always remain to be NGC. I'm not going to join any other political party. So the NGC will continue as a political institution of its own that is going to outlive all of us that are listening to
I like that
right now. Yes. So that is the fact. So the other issue about when then the two parties in the form of coalition, it means each party they send representatives that will be part of the government. Now, if NGC send representatives that will be part of the next government, that not necessarily means we don't join, we don't disappear, we don't join SLPP. No, we are there to serve the nation, for deliver. Let's give you an example. Last week, say NGC run the Ministry of
Gismed, please. I know they cut you off, but the issue here is because I think say you go into a different stream. The issue here is it's not that the NGC they joined the SLPP. It's about the leader, Dr. Kandeh. I think that the bone of contention having moved on, not to the NGC they joined. So that there's a conflation there. Okay.
He has not. He's not moving to the SLPP.
Okay.
He is still part and parcel of the NGC and does not plan to move to the SLPP.
Okay.
He's heading the NGC.
Okay.
At that point, I will let people and get clear.
Okay.
But you panelists and they try for distort down, create the impression like I say the man don't left the NGC party.
When he hasn't.
And that's not the case.
Okay.
He hasn't.
Yeah. Okay. Gismed, many thanks for that. I hope for host a special program with you where we go get them many clarification there because you set the ball, on something where probably it's a confusion for all of us. Where politicians and they speak are the holy grail. You need another thing, here for interpreter or somebody else of higher value for interpreter, and such is the case. So many thanks for this, Gismed. I appreciate this.
Well, luckily, I'm not a politician. Thank God for that.
But you spoke more than a politician. Anyway,
but the man are the deputy, not the deputy chairman for a political party, say not a politician.
Yeah, Gismed, the panelists here just they say you are the deputy leader for the party, and then they say you're not a politician, although you don't necessarily get to be a politician. But what the heck are you doing being the deputy leader of a political party if you're not a politician?
Well, you do not have to be a politician to serve the nation. You do not have to be a politician to be part of a political party.
Okay.
The essence is if you're committed to the leadership of a country. We all know, say, even a Greek philosopher once said, the biggest mistake where the wise they do, now when they refuse for participating in governance, because they create a backing for the fools, for lead them. And we don't do that for 60 years. So I refuse to allow fools to lead me. So that's why I decided to come in, just so that to let the fools know there are people that are smarter and committed to the future of the nation who are prepared to lead.
So Gismed, I'm going to have to ask you this question before you. I'm going to have to ask you this question before you leave. And this is not something where you understand fully well. Dr. Kandeh get ambitions. His ambitions is clear to everybody. He would like to lead the nation into higher heights, if I can add that to the conversation. But there are many people out there of the opinion say this is not going to happen inside of the NGC, not in its present configuration, sir. So therefore, for let the doctor, attain ambitions, then it therefore need for join one of the two parties. Like you said, don't say nothing that happen outside of the two parties. They are quoting the Greek philosopher where you just mentioned. So therefore, Dr. Kandeh will have to move on or find another way. Is he going to? How do I put this, Gismed? But I should say you understand. Is he going to find his way, of becoming that person where he wants to be within the NGC, or he will have to move on? Because he did try that. Pop. Are you there, Gismed?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Listen,
yeah.
The NGC party was not built for one election or two elections.
I love this, Gismed. Yeah, go on. Sorry, go on.
But it's growing.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah, okay.
So, as I in my previous example, I mentioned the Liberal Democrats in the UK. Yeah, they've been struggling for political leadership in England since their inception. But the only time they formed a coalition government with the Conservative Party, and the man became deputy. But that does not mean he has moved to the Conservative Party. He still maintained his membership and leadership of the Liberal Democrats. You are from England, you know that.
Yeah, that's true. You're talking about Nick.
That may happen with the case of Dr. Kandeh Kolleh Yumkella.
Yeah, we look forward to that. Although that relationship between the Liberal Dems and the Conservative wasn't fruitful. In fact, that happened for damage the political career of the leader of the Lib Dems then, Nick Clegg. He's no longer a political force. In fact, he has disappeared. So we're not going to want that for happening to Dr. Kandeh. But many thanks for that, Gismet. We will talk again soon. Hopefully, we'll get you on the platform and we'll get all that clarification there. Many thanks, my brother. Yeah. The final word, please.
A final word. Firstly, I want to comment on Brother Gismet. There are a lot of things the way he say. Firstly, I think it's unfair that he was given so much room to disparage all the presentations the would all make. It's no fault of yours, but I want to state that because the reason being is that we've done a presentation for 2 hours. So for let income, he gets almost got a space for undermine all of this when he had the invitation and he did not respond to it. I think that was unfair. That is one. Two, in terms of in points than what he make about in objections to reviews, most of these things we don't even need to explain. It's black and white. The fact of the matter remains is that NGC is in disarray right now because of KKY indecision for go into talks with the ruling government where it don't they criticize, with the ruling government where it don't they say is not the best solution for Sierra Leone problems. I think that is an issue where Sierra Leoneans they don't see. And from that audio, it was made very clear from that audio that he did not do it in consultation with key members of the party. And we also don't see a fallout from what has happened where we don't see the chairman, the most powerful person in the party is the chairman of the party because he heads the administrative arms of the party. Cherry Coco not powerful past the chairman of APC. You understand? Emerson Lamina not powerful past Tambasani, who's the chairman of C4C. The administrative arm of the party is the organ, is the backbone of the party. So the top-ranking backbone of NGC political party has actually crumbled and removed himself from the party. So there is no brighter evidence than that. And the rationale for where he resigned is very clear that he doesn't want to toe the lines of SLPP. He doesn't want to regurgitate what he has already thrown out. You know, Salomon said, "Licky vomit." You don't want to do that. So he said he's maintaining his credibility, his integrity by resigning from the party simply because he doesn't subscribe to the direction to which KKY is leading the party. That is very clear. Their mayoral candidates, Arun Zubairu, the regional chairman, chair ladies, and several other people have resigned. So for one man, when Mr. Suma for Kanaya, and present a different narrative by a program where they invite him, but we refuse for come to we no respect the invitation for make it come towards the end of the program for can say otherwise is out of context and it does not represent the truth as far as I'm concerned, and I believe the viewers out there will agree with me as well. So and the bottom line is that, let me say this, the bottom line, NGC no get a feature in terms of the 2023 election June 24. This is my submission. It not get a feature because of this controversy where spearheaded by KKY. The way KKY don't go about this, it don't undermine the integrity of NGC. In fact, the political power, the political standing of NGC for go into an alliance with SLPP right now is proven fruitless because SLPP really no need for giving anything anymore in exchange because KKY don't render NGC irrelevant. NGC members, then they go to, most of them, they go to SLPP anyway. So regardless of whether there's an alliance or not, NGC, in terms of the 2023 election, June 24, has proven to be irrelevant when it comes to that election. Within NGC, we will do now for refocus and rebrand the political party for ensure, say, then they're able convince members, them, citizens, they say, yes, NGC is a third force, and they're not able to do that with the current leadership of KKY. It's impossible. No well-minded citizen will subscribe to NGC as a third force in Sierra Leone political landscape, with owing to what don't already happen. The need for a complete overhaul of leadership. You understand? KKY's position as the leader of the party is untenable. That is the fact. You need for change for letting you attract people to the party anymore, because at the moment the only people who will subscribe to NGC are SLPP members. APC members, the way they don't leave APC, go to NGC, they will not feel comfortable staying in NGC anymore after what has happened. So those are the facts. Nobody is tainting it. It is the reality of the day that we've captured. And I hope listeners and viewers out there would spend this time for express their views. And I will look forward for see with brother Mr. Suma for come on your program, and honor your invitation, and we can listen to him. And hopefully you will bring somebody like myself or Mr. Warese or anybody else where they look at things differently, for actually provide their own perspective, a counter perspective to what Mr. Suma for can present. Let not be no more like a dialogue. Mr. Suma come, he can say whatever he wants to say. Nobody know there for say, hey, wait, so what about this fact and this fact?
Okay,
Let it be a balanced one.
Okay, yeah. Many thanks for that. Just a quick correction. I did send Mr. Suma an invitation for a different time. So it's not like he's already rejected the invitation for appearing at the program. Secondly, this sounds really juicy because Una views them, you and Mr. Suma, diametrically opposed. So therefore, it will fine, forget Una both, and then I can act as a moderator. I'm looking forward to this. I've already extended an invitation to Mr. Suma, and I believe he's a friend of this platform, highly intellectual, as you can see, and he already don't make him point and try for take ownership of this particular program we will labor for 3 hours. But you can see, say, he refused, for let that happen, which is a good one in many respects. But another thing I want to let you know, sometimes it's fine for let you give people them the air, let them express themselves, because the public is the judge, not us. We just hear the program, the modicum for let you express your view, and other people and then go decide. So such is the case. So what did Mr. Suma say? He left with other people and how they decide them. But I also agree with you that the public don't make an adjudication on this, because we hear Dr. Kandeh live. We see the translation of his statement live. We see the reaction of members of the party, here live. So, any reasonable person can conclude. But this is where politics become, the emblem for sort of, direct the perception or the concept of how people are supposed for go. And like you rightfully say, it's a party in crisis. That is true because of waiting they happen. And it's also a party where they try for do damage limitation. We are watching that. These are all facts. But like I say again, I want to say thank you very, very much to you and Mr. Warise. We've been here for run out for go to work. And you yourself, I believe, say on your way to work. But in with service to country and nation, we're not a renege from a promise, we're now something of a covenant to we people of Sierra Leone that we will continue to have this conversation. I also want to say thank you to Mr. Gismed. We normally is very reserved and conservative in these issues, but not be able to resist and come out and challenge some of the narrative them on the program. So pretty soon,
I said 1 man too much. That will come out of the closet.
Well, yeah, I sure know Mr. Gismed a little bit. He go say no, that. But all said and done, I want to say thank you very much. And also, can I also express thanks and gratitude to the All People's Congress. They hold a party election yesterday in the UK, And of course, now the 6th region, so it's important. And we mention this again because it's also important for the country, because as a 6th region, then they equate them to any other region of the country itself. So therefore, it's important that the official, when they elect now, or the process itself is mentioned. So I want to congratulate the winners, and then the losers, una take solace, and una learn why una lose. Hopefully there will be another time again where una will make use of this. This has been the Then and Now TV Media Empire platform. And when they come to una again tomorrow with an interview for one of the guys who they aspire for become the chairman for the APC UKNI. UKNI means the United Kingdom and Ireland. And then Mr. Adams Bangura. And then on Tuesday, we do have an intellectual from Holland who write a book. And at the ask una, we will put the details of the book. Please, una try for buy the book. Let we show solidarity to we young people. Not to talk no more yuki. I don't buy me own, I don't get my own special copies signed, and other people are not they buy. Let we try, let we buy if we can. We should. Very interesting programs. So this has been the Then and Now production. Until then, when we catch up again. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Warise. Thank you very much. And to the nation of Sierra Leone and the diaspora, all the one they want to listen to we Australia, Germany, Holland, the United States, China, and many other countries who are unable to mention. Thank you so much. Until then, this has been the TNN production. I'm Prince Emil Kroma saying bye-bye for now.